Shooter's gonna help you come and make.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hello, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Today is Insurance Day, among other things. Compass Insurance Group is in the house. It can save you tons of money. Plus, we're talking about anything near and dear to your heart and pocketbook. Anything. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, waterpros.net. How about that? Water is essential to our nutrition and our health. WaterPros has the best water systems at the lowest prices, not just for laundry and plumbing, but for your body. 303-862-5554. Whole house systems starting at around $3,500. The best systems. Now, compare that to plumbing contractors charge in excess of $8,000 to $10,000. So waterpros.net, 303-862-5554. Drinking water, $1,400. It's wonderful. Now listen, we're going to talk about anything you want, but I have a joke. It's a media joke. It's not really a ha-ha. You're not going to bend over backwards laughing your ass off, but how about this? If I could sum up the show with today's world, let's just blame everything on certain things. If we had to pick the main causes for all of our problems, what would they be? I'm not going to mention this until Mark gets on the mic. So I see his ass in there kind of sauntering in, not really ready. So I'm going to go to
just a little late. Keep going.
No, I want to solicit you or ask you some ideas. And Brian Burns here with Compass Insurance Group. As a joke, I just want to ask, you'll know what I'm going to say, the blame game. But Deepak, right now, let's talk about Windows. What's going on, Deepak?
Hi, Tom. Thanks. So I actually reached out to this company, the Kittlinger Glass company, and which is to replace the glass, the cracked glass of my exterior window.
Okay, so you wanted to just replace one pane on an outside pane of a window?
Yes.
Okay.
And he actually gave me the quote of $648 to replace that glass.
I don't want to interrupt, but if you have a dual or triple pane window, can you do just one?
Well, Mark, what I think he's talking about, what you can do, and that's a really good question. You can't do one of a triple or double pane because they're called insulated glass units, IGUs. IGUs are complete units, and if one cracks, you have to replace the IGU. However, there are some glass that are just, single pane or just old-fashioned that he can change out. So, Deepak, I assumed you were talking about the insulated glass unit, right?
That is correct.
Okay. And
yes.
What happened?
So he gave me a quote, and that happened on January 12th, and we signed a contract. And
it was just one window, right?
One window.
And
yes.
And the quote was for $648?
That is correct.
Okay. And what's the name of the company that gave you that quote?
It's a Kittlinger Glass LLC. Sorry.
I can't understand the name. Spell it for me.
Kittlinger, Kightlinger.
Okay. So anyway, what about it?
Yeah. So I gave him an advance of 50% of $323, and he said the glass will be ready in 2 to 3 weeks. Then I reached out to him after 3 weeks.
So basically, have you gotten the glass or not?
No.
How did you find Kittlinger? How'd you find him?
I searched him up, Googled him, and I think I did the search on the Craigslist as well.
So they're not responding at all right now?
He is responding in the sense that I asked him, when are you going to replace the glass? When are you going to replace the glass? He keep on dragging me. Now we are at the point that I asked him that I need my refund back. If
okay, when did you first, when did they order it?
On January 12th.
It's not terrible at this point still. How much did they take? You said just part of the 600, right?
He took half, 320.
Okay, so here's the deal, man. Here's the deal. I don't know this company from anywhere, but I don't think this is time to panic. Sometimes it can take a long time if they have to make that. Did he explain why it's delaying?
No, he did not. And he keep on dragging me, and we are at the point that he said, I will give you the refund back. And it's been almost 1 week. He said, I will give you the refund. I'll give you the refund. And I sent him a demand letter as well, but he is not refunding me my money.
How did you pay that $320 in a check?
Through Zelle.
Ah, crap. Okay. All right, here's the deal. We can have Deputy Doc call over there. I think, however, Mark, do you remember 5280? Are they still around?
5280 is not around.
Window glass and screen repair.
No, God bless that guy. He actually packed up and decided to move. I can't remember what
to
country.
Another country.
To help orphans, and I'm not kidding.
No, he's doing mission work. You're right. But there are people that do glass replacement units for failed and foggy units and cracked units.
Hey, Tom?
Yes.
My son had the same thing. He had one pane replaced by somebody on our referral list. Let me call him up and find out who he used.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. If I see the name, I know who Doc's talking about. They might have bought that business too, man. 5280. But let me get to referral list real quick.
Okay, good. We'll figure this out. Meanwhile, let's call over to this place and get his refund. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Compass Insurance Group does this 24/7, but 7 days or 5 days a week during normal business hours. You can call them, and they'll do an insurance checkup. A lot of people think, well, that's just them trying to take a shot at your business. The answer is yes, they are. But there's nothing wrong with that, because the great thing about checkups, and Brian, I think you know where I'm going with this, math doesn't lie. In other words, if someone calls you and says, I have Allstate, which is a sucky company, or State Farm, which is a sucky company, or maybe another company that's not a sucky company, and they say, I'm paying this much money and I have this much coverage, either you can beat it or you can't. I mean, if you say you can beat it and then you give them a bill that's higher, it's obviously going to show up. So, in other words, you have to put your money where your mouth is.
Right. Yeah. But I've never seen the insurance market like it is right now, where there's so many moving
We're going to
pieces,
talk about this because
it's not just the price that we're looking at for people. A lot of times we'll say, well, did you realize this is what you have on your policy? And either they know it or they don't. And we can say, well, we can quote it out that way, but do you want it to where you're responsible for this portion of a loss or whatever that is?
A lot of insurance companies are treating roofing differently than the other losses.
Yep.
So, but one thing we must say, and that is townhomes and condos are facing extraordinary challenges.
Yep.
Now, having said that, I post a lot on Nextdoor. I don't know why. One time, Smarty Marty says, hey, you ought to go to Nextdoor. There are a lot of people on there who think they know what they're talking about. And there are a lot of good people on there, a lot of crackpots. But everything I post, I get a lot of crap. My God, every time. Now, most of the time, most of the people appreciate it. But I get these crackpots. The first thing they say, it's a lie. You're exaggerating. It's not true. Blah, blah, blah. Bottom line is this. That when I posted about townhomes and condos, I got so much blowback. I also did that on Newsbreak, where I write for Newsbreak too. So these forums, what people are upset about is they say it's impossible, it's never going to happen, they'll never double homeowners' dues, and insurance is not going up that high. And I noticed a lot of them are from insurance agencies, and they're liars. They're liars.
Yeah.
Right now, condos and townhomes are at a point where they will not be able to get insurance in a few years.
Or they're choosing not to do insurance, and then they're changing it and telling all the owners to get their own insurance.
Yeah, but in some cases, if you have a condo on the third floor of a 6th-floor building,
right.
how do you insure your roof?
Yeah, that's different. You're right.
You can't.
Yeah.
Townhomes can.
Yep.
But if you're in a condo, you can't insure the roof. You can't insure common areas, can you?
No.
You can insure, and a lot of people say loss damage assessment, but I want to make this clear. Is there any loss damage assessment I can get as a condo owner that will cover a $50,000 copay?
Well, if
assessment.
if it's a covered peril, in other words, if it was because of a covered peril, sure. We have
what
policies
if,
that have it.
What if? Don't they require certain underlying insurance? Is it like an umbrella? Or what if the condo association, what if the HOA decides we can't afford coverage anymore for the roofs?
Yeah.
And they drop it.
Yeah.
Okay. They have liability and all the others. But let's say they drop roof coverage. Mm-hmm. Would loss damage assessment cover you if you had no underlying insurance?
Well, here's the problem on it is if they drop the roof coverage, would it be in the form of a loss assessment? Are they still handling the loss at that point?
Well, they would become self-insured.
So they would pay for it and then assess the unit owners. I just don't think they would. I think they would. What I've seen them do so far, not on a condo but more townhomes, is they send out a memo, and I actually got one of these yesterday from a client, where they are telling the individual homeowners, as of this date, you have to have an HO3, which is coverage for the exterior of the home, because our policy will lapse as of that date. And they're requiring proof be sent to them.
No, I get that with a townhome. So that's going to increase the cost.
Yeah.
They have to get their own roof coverage.
Yes.
Okay.
How do they break down an HO3 policy, though, Brian? Do they take, there's 10 owners, and I don't even understand how they come up with it.
It has to be demised. It can't be a condo. It must be a townhome.
Yeah. No, but
go ahead.
But an HO3 would cover, my understanding is, it covers stuff like fences, sidewalks. It covers everything.
Well, HO3 has some coverage for other structures, like a 10% limit. That is still going to be falling under, on the policies I've seen, they still do have some common area coverage that would cover things like if there was a clubhouse or fences around the neighborhood. They would still have a policy for that.
All right. I want to know, coming up, the differences between HO3, HO4, HO5, HO6. What the hell does that mean? I don't know what it means. Do people know what it means?
Homeowners.
Oh, yeah, of course. But do we know what the 1, 2, 3, 4? Is there a 1? Is there a 2? Is there a 3? Is there a 4?
Really, the only thing you would ever run into is 3, 4, 5.
3,
and 6, of course.
What's the condo one?
That's the 6, yeah.
What's the normal condo? HO6?
HO6.
All right, well, we're going to talk about that, because I would assume that if you had HO2, 3, or 4, 5, 6, the higher the number, the better the coverage, but that's not necessarily so. So that's a good thing to talk about, and more coming up. 303-713-8255. What's on your mind today? What can we do for you? I'll tell you what, ProBid Energy can do a solar system for you. That's right, $21,000 with battery backup, fully installed. That's after your incentives. ProBidEnergy.com, $21,000 for most houses.
Ask yourself, what am I?
Quick to Mark.
Income that may never be outlived. Call 866-901-SAFE for your complimentary retirement and income book. And join Al Martinez for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, Sundays at 7 a.m. or 3 p.m.
You know what I love about Genesis Total Exteriors? And since we're talking about insurance and all that, he can do all your insurance damage on one invoice because he handles it all, everything on the outside of your house. But I love that he also looks into new products and advanced products and really cool stuff. Let's talk about, we talk about stucco a lot. He can convert you to stucco, but you also now, you deal with this other stuff you like. Allura Fiber cementous siding. What the hell is it?
Well, Tom, you've heard of the big name out there that everybody knows, and there really were the only name and
you're talking about the guy named James something, yes.
Yes, and Allura has been around since 2013. Very similar product. But the neat thing is because they're the small guy, they're small, they're nothing like that size, their costs are actually less They spend a lot less in advertising. They kind of go directly to us contractors, and we just went through training on their product yesterday. We have installed their product in the past. The neat thing, too, is it's easier to install than the other guys because you can flip a board. The other guys, you have to keep the board going the same direction. You have a higher waste percentage. Great product, costs less. It's really good for people that are concerned about fires because it's
May I ask a question? Is it as hardy as the other ones?
Yes, it is. And they actually have a lot more selection on their trim boards than the other guys, too. Because that's one thing we've been running troubles with. The other guys don't have all their trim boards available. These guys do. It's stocked here in Denver.
Okay.
They actually have a pre-colored package, too, if you want that.
A trick question. If you use that instead of the other stuff, but you're paid by your insurance for the other stuff, can you actually save money?
You could actually save some money. Yes, you could.
Okay.
You bet.
Genesis Total Exteriors, give him a call. He has all of the latest, greatest products. 303-679-8509. 679-8509. GenesisTotalExteriors.com.
Man, do I like that Mark.
Oh, Schmansky?
I like Mark. He's fucking good at what he does.
Hey, do I have time to get coffee, Shannon, at Starbucks down the street?
Yes, you do.
Yep, go.
Go.
No, I mean,
The
actually,
show will be
time do I
much
have?
more improved.
Yep.
How much time do I have?
Well, if you're leaving the building, that's fine. You got like 3 minutes or
Okay.
something.
3 minutes.
You know, we're looking at 30 to 40 fucking inches of snow.
I'm
Yeah,
not
right.
happy.
I'm not kidding. At my house.
You want to bet some money on this?
That I don't, because I'll tell you what, I have never lived in a state where weather people are horrible like this.
Okay,
they are
here's
the
what
worst
here's what I'm
ever.
looking at, okay? I looked at all of the maps I could find. I can't see. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I want to make that clear. But I can't see on
I
the
didn't
maps
realize
right
how
now.
loud your voice was until she was trying to talk.
I can't see a well-developed system.
Well, I see the system.
Do you?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah. Well, I just 9 News.
I no, I understand. But if you go like to AccuWeather, the map,
Yeah.
okay,
I bet you get between 9 and 18, man.
here.
Yeah. And I'm looking
Maybe.
it up to,
But
I'm looking
just
at over
wondering, does the
36
system-
inches.
Does the system grow stronger or something? Because what I'm seeing now is not strong.
I don't know, man.
Shoot.
They
I
don't
wish I
know.
knew more about it.
And is it not coming from the west? Because the mountains are
All of
supposed
it,
to get
all
like 10.
all weather. Well, no, 90% comes
But
west
yeah,
to east.
Brian's right. The mountains are only getting like 11.
Yeah, right.
Because it's an upslope.
Yeah, now that's
Yeah.
a different story from the southeast as it tracks from the southwest.
So-
that
so, but
upslope.
hold-
Go ahead.
Here's where I was going with this. If there's an emergency, if we really do get this, I think it would affect us Friday morning. If no one can get here, the bottom line is going to be this. Your outbounds are going to have to go through your board remotely. I'll log in remotely if there's an extra
But
connection.
what do you mean by remotely, Mark, on the board? What board?
Just how you use your phone to get on guests. And then whoever the
But I
board
don't think you want to call them from your cell.
Why?
well, you'd have to. We've done it before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it works. It works.
I
You
know,
mean
but
for
I
my
just hate
guest
people-
Mark or for regular callers?
No, I mean only if we got to get an expert on regular
Oh,
calls.
yeah,
If-
I know what you're saying.
If
Yeah,
Kelly
I can do
can't
that.
get here and I can't get here and Suze can't get
No,
here.
I can do that, yeah.
Well,
now, Mark, I
regu-
still want to do that phone system we have and try it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we've
think
got to
Mark
connect
should
that.
sleep there the night before, and then he'll make sure he's there.
You know what, Brian?
What do
You
you
know
think?
what, buddy? I'll tell you what.
used to
I'll
do
tell you
that.
what. I'm going to start shopping around for more insurance.
We used to do that, man. We used to have with TVs.
I still do. Quit your whining.
Yeah, that's true. Shannon does. But my point was Shannon and Dragon might have to simply pick up the phone, ask for her name, and put
I
it
won't
up.
be here Friday.
Well,
Hi, Tom Martino here. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Get your calls in. But as I was saying at the start of the show, as a little funny, I'd like to come up with a host of reasons that will suffice for every call. So I got the first one. Ready? The first one is, it's Donald Trump's fault. That's the first one. It's Trump's
hey, did you see all those charges dropped today in the Georgia case?
Just minor ones.
Minor ones. They go right to the heart of it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Actually, the main case is still alive and well.
Yes, but a lot of the rulings from today are going to affect the cases against the other charges.
Did they qualify? Did they disqualify Fannie?
No, he's going to decide on that this week. Here's the only part I was thinking about that. If he is going to disqualify the entire office, why would he even make that judgment today about the 6 that they threw out, knowing that, you know what I'm saying?
Because they might appoint a special prosecutor.
Maybe.
Trump's fault is one. Number 2, Biden's fault. Okay? And what will be the next fault? Think about it. Think about it.
It's Martino's fault.
Huh?
It's Martino's fault.
Climate change. No, it's climate change. So we have Biden's fault and Trump's fault. Climate change would be the next reason for everything. What else? Let's think of another reason, and my YouTubers can help. I'll tell you another one is, let's see. Think of one. Climate change, Biden's fault, Trump's fault. What? Come on. Name it. Oh, the vaccination. The vaccination.
Hey, that's getting a little weird, man. I started reading an article. I didn't read the whole thing about people trying to get to a point where they can sue those companies. I guess there's some heart conditions and
that. First of all, no one kept track of the adverse effects. No one did, because I just know they didn't. Never mind. I don't want to get into it. They didn't keep track. If you told your doctor, your doctor sat there with their finger. Never mind. Blah, 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 blah. That's what your doctor did when you told them about an adverse effect. You think they got on the phone or filled out a form? Come on. You said, hey, doc, this is happening since the vaccination. Anyway, so are there any other things we can... Trump, it's his fault, Biden's fault, climate change,
TikTok going away. TikTok going away. That's going to be...
I don't think TikTok is going to go away.
Well, they passed today in, what was it, the House, so it's going to go to the Senate.
The Senate's not going to approve it.
Okay, so the House overwhelmingly approved it by over 2/3, and you think the Senate won't for what reason?
The House is Republican, and they want it.
I just said something that's very important here. 285, I think, was the number out of 300 and whatever. Well over 2/3 of the vote.
You're saying it's bipartisan, and the Senate...
It's well beyond bipartisan. It is.
Mark, what was the vote? Just inform us.
285.
No, to do what?
To get rid of, well, not to get rid of TikTok, but to force them to sell to another company or get the hell out of the U.S. You know where they buried themselves, guys? They buried themselves last week when anybody that logged on to TikTok had to enter their zip code. Once you entered your zip code, everybody that used TikTok last week, it would tell you your congressman's name. So they had all these kids from around the country calling a congressman. Most of them don't even know what a congressman is, threatening to kill themselves if they got rid of it. The stupid Chinese, actually the stupid company TikTok, proved their own point, how powerful they are. Imagine, Tom, if it was a vote about something like going to war with China, they would do the same thing. They would use that TikTok platform to tell people to call their congressman to vote no on it. It's crazy.
Well, all social platforms are used like that, though.
But they're not owned by the Chinese government.
Well, okay, good point. Oh, wait. Hold on. That owner, wait a minute. When he was testifying before Congress, he says he is not controlled in any way, shape, or form by the Chinese government.
They've already proved it is. I mean, I don't know what else. There's no one that argues that anymore.
Are you suggesting that a Chinese... Hold on. Are you suggesting a Chinese national would lie to our Congress?
Yes, and I think they would also lie about where that virus came from,
No, do you remember during COVID, when everyone was shutting down and stuff, China claimed they only had
blocked us when we talked about the theory back then. I mean, most of us knew it came out of the Wuhan lab. But if you talked about it on Facebook or YouTube, what would happen?
You were blocked.
You were blocked, and we still have those X's up there under the account. It's amazing. It is absolutely
those X's
amazing what these morons did.
I didn't get those strikes because I talked about the lab leak.
Yeah, we did. We got one of those strikes on our YouTube channel talking about the lab.
Oh, the other strike on the Facebook channel I got was for encouraging people
to take vitamins
to enhance their immune system. It was labeled false information.
Damn you, Tom.
I said we'd all do better if we could enhance our immune system. But that was considered by Facebook false information.
But to go back and harp a little more on the TikTok thing real quick, think about it. Over 56% of people, I think, under the age of 22 or something, get their news. Think of that percentile from TikTok. That's where they get their news. You know, we kind of laugh at people, MSNBC, Fox, CNN. They all have their agenda, but these people get their news from the Chinese government, basically. TikTok.
Do you know what a cesspool TikTok is? I mean, truly, honest to God, I mean, really, but I have to admit, if I get on YouTube or TikTok or any of those, they are not so much Instagram, not so much those other things, but TikTok and YouTube are addicting. You get one topic after another.
I like the shorts, those YouTube shorts. I love. I like German Shepherd shorts.
I like them all. I mean, I have to tear myself away from them. There's always something. But here's what I don't understand with the TikTok. Sometimes they're so short, you don't even understand the point of posting, or you don't understand why they're posting it, and you can't see the rest of it.
It's crack, man. I mean, really, they're addictive as hell. You can't argue it.
Trump's fault, Biden's fault, climate change, vaccination. If we have to have another universal reason for everything going wrong, it would be...
You're missing one.
What?
Republicans.
Yeah, I was going to say Republicans and then Democrats.
No, not Democrats, just Republicans.
Oh, really?
Well,
Democrats
she's a card-carrying liberal.
She is? Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Excuse
me?
Hey,
Tom?
She's more conservative. Who's our gun-toting? Who's our gun-toter
what is
in
another
Congress?
universal reason for everything being wrong? Let's name it. I think those cover everything right there.
Well, Democrats get to skate by.
No.
Republicans
It depends on who's doing the blaming. If you really take who's doing the blaming, these cover everything. Democrats, Republicans, vaccination, climate change, Biden's fault, Trump's fault.
Mainstream media.
That's a good. Mainstream media is really good.
Okay, media. Mainstream media or media?
What was it? MSNBC wouldn't even. They don't even like. They don't say Trump's name anymore, of course, unless if it's negative, which is all the time. And then the other thing, when he comes out and talks about something, they simply won't allow him to have any airtime. And I don't mean like in studio. I mean just from a speech or something. Yeah, they won't even let him because they say he lies, and they won't allow lies.
They cut him off. It's total censorship.
All right, 303-713-8255. Got to take a break and talk about...
When we come back, I have 2 follow-ups for you.
I want to remind people the free plumbing inspection like never before. Free. No obligation. This includes the sewer system, the water heaters, everything, the entire plumbing system. 888heating.com from people we know and trust. Call for your free plumbing inspection and have patience. I'm telling you, there's no obligation and no cost. You have nothing to lose. If you want to know if toilets are all great, find out. If you want to know if you're wasting water or too much pressure, find out. Free. 303-770-2776.
Thank you.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Dan Kaplis today at 4, 630 KHOW, Denver.
I want
now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the Ben Ferguson Podcast.
Some significant delays all throughout the Denver Metro for the 10 o'clock hour. Let's start on the north end of town, I-25 southbound before 84th, a crash in the carpool.
Well, I did learn something here. If I want you to take a break and just have Kelly start to talk.
West of there, I-70 westbound between Kipling and 44th and Ward Road, a crash blocking 2 right lanes. Has the roadway reduced to 1 lane. We're seeing slow traffic back from Wadsworth and a 20-minute delay. Fox 31 at Pinpoint Weather. Scattered showers this morning and throughout the rest of the day. High 50 degrees. It is a Pinpoint Weather alert day. That rain turning to snow around 6 p.m. and accumulating all into Friday. The current temperature in Denver is 43 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, Mark Swan.
Can you make it tomorrow?
There's one podcast the White House doesn't want you to hear. It's the Ben Ferguson podcast because we are covering all of the Biden crime family issues, including the impeachment of the president. So if you want to know what the White House is hiding, download the Ben Ferguson podcast now.
All right. Now, if you're looking for the best when it comes to representation, what do I mean by that? I mean that you want someone, when it comes to being injured, who will talk to you first. I mean, that's a small ask, isn't it? And then someone who will follow your case with you and work your case with you. You want an attorney like that. You know, most every single firm you hear advertise has a whole battery of attorneys, and and any one of them, they come and go in these firms, and you don't know where your case is. You can't find out updates. And with John Fuller, he has pledged to only take the number of cases that he personally will work with you. You get a cell phone number that you can call or text at any time. Here's how it works. You call and talk. You see if it's a good fit. No charge for initial consultations, and then no out-of-pocket ever when you hire him. He works on a percentage fee basis. And then you communicate with your attorney the way it should be. John Fuller, Fuller Law. Notice the difference when you call. You will really, really notice the difference. That's John Fuller, Fuller Law, 303-597-4500, 597-4500, myaccidentlawyer.co. Now how much time do I have? Jerk?
Like 18 minutes. Get out.
Okay.
Hey, Brian.
Why in the world didn't you? I would have gotten you.
Doesn't make any difference. Get
I
out.
would have gotten you good coffee.
Hey, did you call Doc? That place?
I don't know if he's listening.
He's not listening.
Ah, son of a... I'm stepping away.
He's listening to Perry Como.
Hey, Brian, you think Chubb's going to step in and back that $500 million bond on that Trump judgment? They did on the defamation case.
I was going to say, if there's a company that would do it, it's Chubb.
Yeah, they put up 91 million or 83, whatever it was.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, well, that's what they do, though. They have that department. It's not like he talked them into it. They make big dollars doing that.
Yeah, it's almost like Lloyd's of London. You know how they handle it.
Call right now.
And it's pretty smart because honestly, I don't know the percentage they get. I guarantee it's not going to be like 10% on something that big, but whatever it is. It's got to make financial sense to them and the assets in this case.
Yep.
If he was forced to sell the buildings and the properties, would easily pay for it.
Right. So their risk factor is pretty low in the
It's
sense
very
that they
low.
know that he's good for it.
Yeah, it has really nothing to do with the appeals process.
Yeah.
Whether he wins or loses, they just want to make sure, the collateral's
I
there.
would like to know what they make off of it, though.
I would love to know what they made off the $83 million.
Yeah.
There's no way it's 10%. I mean, I guess it's possible.
I bet that wouldn't surprise me at all.
$8 million?
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
God dang, man. God bless.
Oh, okay.
To asparagus. What is in it? It doesn't happen with any other green vegetable.
Right.
That's just bizarre.
Yep, it's weird being alive, isn't it?
It's very strange being alive. What was that, Kelly? What'd they want?
Your mom. Too late.
I got to pull out my mega hat soon.
Away, then $75 off duct cleaning. Talk about really clean and staying clean. No dirt.
Why is there commercials
residue
playing?
from soaps or
Because
chemicals.
they suck
Just
and I want to
purified,
rub it
super
in.
soft water. The best cleaning agent in nature. Call now.
Have you heard this one?
303-471-5150.
Yeah, it sounds like he cut it outside.
5150 or ZeroRes.
Well, it's
Denver.com.
ZeroRes.com.
All those places.
Sounds
right
like
there
Doc
at
recording.
TU.
Hey, how much do you guys think Truth Social is worth?
I don't know. What is it worth?
I don't know. I'm trying to find out. I just have no idea.
You going to buy it?
No.
Get a big tax rebate? Yeah, so asparagus affects everyone. Are you saying it affects men more than women?
Well, that's what I just read.
Oh, okay.
You mean
so let me ask you guys: does your pee smell after you eat asparagus?
Every human's pee smells
if you eat
after
enough
asparagus.
of it, sure.
Oh, I can have
Every
one
human-
piece and it does.
Every human's urine smells after asparagus.
Okay,
My wife's doesn't.
Your inability to smell it is your inability to smell it, not your urine's inability.
This
to
from
process
Dr.
the
Shannon.
sulfur. Fucking idiots. So I don't understand how you can be human and not understand being human. Oh, hey, we're coming back.
Denver's Talk Station. Online at khout.com.
Hey, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So if you have a problem, question, complaint, give us a call. Mario wants to talk about a contractor. And then I want to know causes for problems, if we had to sum them all up. And then I want to talk about this insurance that Trump had that could pay out for the sexual harassment. Actually, the $82 million, a lot of people don't understand this. It wasn't for the sexual, part of it was for that, but it was mainly for what he said after that. It was for the defamation, wasn't it? It was for defaming her.
A big chunk.
Yeah. All right, anyway, let's go to Mario. Mario, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Good, man. What's going on with you?
I've got a complaint, I suppose, about a guy. His name is Jeffrey.
Okay, and what is this a contractor you worked for or you hired?
Well, I am a contractor, so to speak, and I wanted to get out of contracting, and this guy was flipping houses, and he said, "Oh yeah, well, if you want to invest some money, I can get you, return on your money really quick."
Now,
And
did you
right
did you
before
work on
COVID.
these houses or just invest in them?
No, I just invested, and it was like my first time investing like that. And I signed some sort of.
Who did you invest with?
Jeffrey Mythaler. Well, the money I gave to him, but he put it into TDAC LLC.
TDAC. And what was that?
It was some little company that he started to do this house. And what I found out afterwards is that every house that he flips, he starts a TDA, or he starts an LLC for that exact house.
That's not. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing. Now, listen,
Yeah,
hold
I know,
on,
but-
Mario. Here's what I need to know.
Yeah.
Just some really basic stuff. When you invest in an LLC with someone else, okay, did you, what were the provisions in the LLC for distribution of profits and all that? What did you have a document you signed?
Yeah.
And so did you actually invest in the LLC, or did you become an owner of the LLC with that person? With an LLC, you would have to be an owner. It's not really an investment. The investment would come in the form of a limited partnership. So you were just basically, you formed, I know it doesn't look like this, but you formed an LLC or were part of an LLC and you own part of it. Is that right?
No, I took this guy on his word. He was going to make me $3,000 in 3 months, and he was
How
flipping
much
a house,
did you invest?
So I went with it. $100,000.
100,000. Okay.
To make 3%?
No, Mark. It was $1,000 a month he was making. It would have been annualized 12%.
Yeah.
So
after COVID, it was like a year later. He paid me $65,000, but said that he would pay me the other $50,000 soon.
Mario,
that was
this
4 years ago.
Listen, did you loan the money or invest the money?
I thought I was investing.
Well, here's what I want to know. Here's what I want to tell you. If you invested money, you could very well lose money during COVID on this. You could have very well, and he doesn't owe you anything. I mean, he could have paid you 65 and said, that's how much you made. How much of the LLC did you own for $100,000?
I don't think I owned anything of the LLC. I was trusting this guy.
Okay, so when you gave him $100,000, you said you signed paperwork. What did you sign?
I have a promissory note.
Okay, so you're a lender, Mario.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
You did not invest anything. You loaned money to a fix and flipper.
Yeah, this was my first time doing this.
No, I'm not accusing you. I'm just trying to get an accurate picture. I understand you trusted him, but you have a promissory note, and that promissory note says that you loaned him $100,000. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
It probably says he loaned just that LLC, not the guy.
That's right. Now, with this loan that you made to the LLC, okay, did it say how much interest it pays you?
I don't see that.
What do you mean you don't see it? Was he just going to pay the $100,000 back? You said you were going to get $103,000 in 3 months. Does it say that in the promissory note?
It says until paid at the rate of 12% per annum.
Okay, it does say that. And has he ever paid you?
Like I said, he paid me $62,000 after a year. I didn't sign it.
Listen, if he defaulted on that note, why didn't you get a judgment, at least against the LLC, and then put it on the house?
Well, because the house went away. He sold the house when he gave me the $62,000. So the house was gone. I never put my name on the house.
What is the LLC? Like first of all, you need to send the promissory note. Okay, I'm not sure what you did. Send the promissory note. So right now you've been paid a total of how much? Right now,
62, and he gave me $10,000.
How much were you? I just need to know total. How much were you paid back in total?
$72,000.
Okay. And you were supposed to make 12%. Send that to us. I want to look at it. That's the best we can do at this point. But Mario, if he did everything the right way, and you loaned to an LLC and you didn't get paid, and it could be you're just out right now. Did the LLC go away?
Yeah. Yeah, it went from an LLC to a corporation to another LLC. Then the house was sold. No lien on the house or nothing like that.
He can't transfer stuff out of that LLC without a good reason. But you didn't own the LLC. Send that promissory note. That's the best we can do is have somebody look at it. 303-713-8255. This poor guy.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the Ben Ferguson Podcast.
Some good news on the north end of town. I-25 southbound, a crash at 84th has been all cleared up. Still seeing some slow traffic back from 136th, about 10 minutes of delays. Heading east and north of DIA 470 southbound, stop-and-go traffic continues between 104th and Pena Boulevard. We're seeing about 10 minutes of delays. Back to I-25 into downtown southbound road. Some normal stop-and-go for the 10 o'clock hour heading to 11. Between I-70 and Spear Boulevard, we're seeing speeds in the 30s and 40s. Fox 31, pinpoint weather. It's a pinpoint weather alert day. Scattered rain throughout the Denver metro, turning to snow this evening and accumulating overnight into Friday. The current temperature is 46 degrees with your Impact Traffic and Weather. Mark Swan at 630 K-House.
There's one podcast the White House doesn't want you to hear. It's the Ben Ferguson Podcast, because we are covering all of the Biden crime family issues, including the impeachment of the president. So if you want to know what the White House is hiding, download the Ben Ferguson Podcast now.
Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies can help you plan for retirement. Do you know that guy took that $100,000 and put it in one of the annuities? He could have had income for life after a few years. I mean, it would have been incredible what he could have done. He would have gotten, in some cases, a $30,000 bonus. So he would have had $130,000 going in, He could have had that invested for 10 years and then pulled out retirement to supplement his Social Security. By the way, this is just one of the many things you can do at Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. They also teach you how to keep your income going even without annuities. If you have a nest egg of another kind and you need to keep that going, they have really good strategies for that, and long-term care and legacy and everything you need in retirement. I urge you to check them out. They're good, honest people, and they know how to do it. rpcenter.com for a free consultation. 970-663-3211. No obligation. They'll meet with you as many times as it takes for you to feel comfortable. rpcenter.com. Hey, when you want floor coverings, and you don't know anything at all, Simply Floors, Inc. can help you. They have experts to help you find the right floor for the right spaces. They have the best installers in the business and great prices and great selection. All you have to do is go to Simply Floors, Inc. and make an appointment. Tell them what you're interested in. Simply Floors, Inc. or stop by their showrooms, 470 in Quebec or 52nd and Ward. You find out more at Simply Floors, INC, simplyfloorsinc.com.
Yay.
What is that?
It's a show in Memphis.
Hey, Tom?
Yes.
I called the glass place.
And?
I'll let you know when we get back on the air.
Thank you.
Don't hit the on button.
I'm not. Okay. I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah, well, okay. We can debate that.
Yeah, that TikTok passed 352 to 65.
Okay, guys, check your email.
What do I have?
Mario's promissory note.
Oh, good.
Is there a personal guarantee?
Hell no. You know there's not going to be.
Did he say he knows this guy? Is that why he did this?
I don't know. He said he trusted him.
Gross.
Do you or anyone you know sneeze when they see bright light, like the sun in the corner of their eye?
Hey, Kelly, send this over to O'Brien.
Okay.
Okay. Because that's a 20% deal.
It doesn't have a. This doesn't have a due date on it.
Well, no, the due date's the sale of the property.
Where does it say that?
Very last.
Sale date of 7/17.
Yeah.
It's like I have it, and it's
He can sue this guy, but it's the LLC, right?
malfunction in your nose.
Wait.
20% of the population has.
Well, it's better than a mouth.
The undersigned. Who's the undersigned?
I don't know.
Too. But
He
Who's
didn't.
the undersigned?
Hold on.
It's kinda
There's
funny.
2 pages.
Oh, I
But
didn't
it's
see the second page.
Sense as people who sniff pepper and sneeze.
Oh, there it is.
TDACC LLC. And then the guy signed as a manager, so.
I do that. I also sneeze instead of cry when I slice onions.
Get past an LLC and try to go after the member.
Well, first of all, he wasn't supposed to dissolve the LLC with outstanding bills.
Thing having a body.
Yeah,
I say
it really
that to
is.
the daughter all the time.
He can't legally dissolve it.
Subject would come up. I go,
So
And he calls himself a general partner, which is bullshit.
You get to see the universe and stuff. And think about things, but then you
Well, it all comes down to the money, man. I mean, if he made more, if he didn't make the money and the house sold for less, I mean, I don't think anything was done wrong. But if it had more money and he could have paid
Mark,
the guy and didn't.
What do you mean? This isn't contingent on what he sells the house for.
630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino. We got this promissory note, and it's just a straightforward promissory note. And all it says is it's going to pay him 12% per annum until they sell the house. And so he has to calculate. There is no default provision. So the note ended at the sale date of the house, and that's where interest is calculated. You can't calculate beyond that unless you got a judgment because no default provisions are in the note. So the way I look at this note, it's a straightforward promissory note with 12% interest. It says nothing about percentage of sale or anything. So it doesn't matter if he lost money or anything. He just straight out, this LLC straight out loaned him money. And that's it. They loaned him money. And he can't dissolve an LLC without standing obligations. So where is the LLC?
Well, it depends. I mean, if he literally, doesn't have any money, he basically went bankrupt, or if this guy sues him, could go bankrupt. I mean, it depends if he's hiding the money or if they legitimately lost money and had to go out of business,
Mark,
right?
I'm not talking about bankruptcy. This guy did not declare this LLC didn't declare bankruptcy, did he?
No, I don't know if he did or not, but I'm saying if this guy actually spent the money to sue him and got a judgment, they very well could.
That's true. They very well could. That's right. If there's no fraud involved, that's right. However, you can't dissolve the LLC without standing obligations. So where is the LLC, Mario? I'll just look it up. You have no idea where the LLC is, right?
No.
Okay. We got to get an attorney in on this. But bottom line is this. This was a really unsecured promissory note. So what Mark said is kind of true in that if he doesn't have money, and you can pierce that corporate veil pretty easily if he committed fraud, but it doesn't matter if he doesn't have anything. You're in a bad shape right now. You lost a lot of money. And
he's flipped like 5 or 8 other houses.
Not under this
right,
LLC, he didn't. Now, you can go to the Attorney General if you think he's defrauding other people.
We're going to send it to our attorney over the break, too.
Yeah, we'll talk about this coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. Stick around, 303-713-TALK. This is terrible.
Yay.
Terrible. I feel bad for this guy, damn it.
Terrible.
Okay, let's look here. Business entity.
Cleaning. No dangerous soaps or chemicals.
What is this?
303-471-5150.
Boy, is that overmodulated or is that just me?
Oh, shut up. God damn it.
Hey, Brian, what do you think? Play it again.
Well, it's hard to yank out of the log.
I can barely hear it, though. I wish he'd put some more modulation on it.
Yeah, maybe treat the mic like he owed it $20.
Exactly.
Shut up. I'm going to
just the tip of the mic.
I'm going to sue you all.
Sure.
Voluntarily dissolved. He's got a civil case against this owner.
Hey, Tom, see the addendum that I just sent you?
What does the addendum say? Uh-oh. It says all bets are off. So, okay, what about it? He basically made a new agreement.
What is it? What does it say?
But it says it's going to pay him $250 a month.
It's just acknowledging he paid him $62,000. That's all this addendum's really doing.
But here's the deal, man. This guy should not have dissolved the LLC. I don't know what the ramifications are, but
I don't know if there would be any unless there's fraud. It's all going to go back to fraud. If he legitimately took the $100,000 and used it on this house, and let's say it needed massive foundation work and they lost money on the house, well, it is what it is.
Yeah, but it's a promissory note, Mark. It doesn't say if you make money, you pay me.
That's right. But if the LLC doesn't have money to pay, they simply don't pay it. If they get sued, they file for the 7 or 11 or 13, whatever they file for.
But I'm thinking, Mark, here's what I'm thinking. If he dissolved the corporation, it could make him personally liable.
I don't think so.
Well, if he
Brad O'Brien will find out.
If he dissolved it illegally, it could.
Time's up for TikTok. Biden said you'd sign off, too. It's pretty scary how much power they have, man.
Well, it's because our freaking educational system doesn't people to think.
These Utes don't even know what a congressperson is. Notice how I said it properly, congressperson.
Okay, so this guy is supposed to, if he's going to dissolve an LLC with outstanding obligations, of course he has to do a vote, which is fine because he's the only one. He has to settle the debts with all assets that he has. Then he has to notice the creditors, provide notice to the creditors in a certain way. Then he has to file articles of dissolution declaring what's owed. So this guy did not, I'm sure he didn't do the but I don't know what the ramifications are if he doesn't do it.
It says here, if it wasn't dissolved properly, a creditor might be able to collect the distributed assets from the individual members.
Really?
That's what it says.
Okay, cool. So he can go after that guy for the...
If it wasn't done properly.
Well, yeah, that's true. If it wasn't done properly, you pierce the corporate veil.
Right.
See, a lot of people think if you have an LLC that runs out of money, you can just dissolve it.
Yeah.
And you can.
Right.
Now, it's actually, you can leave it there with no money.
That's what he should have done.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, that's even, you know, which is weird. A lot of people think I'll just dissolve it. It's better to just leave it there, a shell, an empty shell.
Yep.
Yeah, until someone sues you.
And then file.
Oh, God, this thing sucks.
Well, stop jerking it around.
God!
It's not, you treat it like it's new in town. What are you doing?
Shut up.
Golly.
God, it's crap. It's Brown. Brown does it on purpose. He brings it down to one
How
knot.
do they even do it, though, with the cord attached? How does it get unscrewed?
I don't know. No clue.
What do you mean?
It's not like I'm spinning it.
Yes, you are.
Oh, bullshit.
Essentially, when you are jerking it off for 4
Not
hours,
true.
oh my God.
4 hours, it's been an hour and it fell.
Well, you got to add the 4 hours from yesterday. Jiminy Christmas. Do I need to bring you some hand lotion?
And it's only this one. That one never falls, ever.
Well, it's because you don't jerk it around as much.
Why don't you go sit over there?
You sit at
Mark,
home.
just sit at that seat.
You're not tugging on your mic at home. Is it? I forget. I haven't zoomed in on you. Is it on a stand or do you have an arm at home as well?
It's
It's not a headset.
No, it's a
like a Yeti Blue.
It's like this.
Oh.
But it's got a long beam that comes over.
Well, yeah. All right.
You follow?
As opposed to a gym beam, which you should do.
Yes.
I heard it. I gotta.
Dave H., it is nowhere near too early to put down fertilizer. Hello, welcome to Colorado. You get it down before the big snow and you have the greenest grass in the neighborhood. You know, that's just the way it is, man.
But don't plant.
There's always
anything
got to be someone that argues every fucking thing. Most people know if they get fertilizer down today, they're going to have great grass after this storm.
Well,
You're just
some
spreading a
people are
lot of
new
shit
here.
there.
God, exactly. Spreading a ton of shit.
Maybe they just came from like Egypt or something.
Yeah, we're not in fucking Alaska.
All right.
This poor guy, Jeffrey Maythaler, is the guy that did it. I don't know.
Well, we'll see what Brad O'Brien's got to say.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, like I said, I called the glass place. So I'll give you an update on that.
Yeah.
And two from yesterday.
What's the update? Is it pound sand?
Nah, that's funny. For a glass place.
Oh.
Yeah.
I get it.
Unfortunately, it went over most heads.
Hey, Mark.
Well, it's because you're a pain.
Yeah.
Mark, coming back.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Welcome to the show. I'm Tom Martino, trying to help you through the day, through the life, through the year, whatever it is. With problems, questions, and complaints, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, waterpros.net. The best water systems at the lowest prices. Get your drinking water at least in line and get rid of those nanoplastics. 303-862-5554. Just $1,400 for triple filter reverse osmosis. Now, I want to talk about this deal with Mario. Mario, there's a number of moving parts here, but what's interesting is you said you invested with TDAC LLC. You actually loaned the money, but you said it was a guy you were doing business with called Jeff Maythaler. Jeff Maythaler is not the owner of that LLC. Jeff Maythaler is not the owner.
I believe he was.
Okay. I'm looking at the documents, okay? Is it a coincidence that the guy who registered this LLC is named Terrence Doyle, and therefore TDAC LLC could be Terrence Doyle too? Is that possible, sir?
Yeah, that's a friend of his.
Okay.
Terrence Doyle, yeah.
So here's what corporate law says, and I'm not giving you legal advice, but if I know this from owning tons of LLCs that did business. If you had outstanding obligations, you had a very specific way you needed to dissolve them, or you could pierce the corporate veil and go after the individual members if they did not do it properly. Now, you might, like Mark said, if financially they didn't have the money anyway, that's one thing. But if they took profits on this and then dissolved the LLC, you can go after those profits. You can go after them right now civilly, individually, for not dissolving this properly if they did not dissolve it properly. I don't know if they did or not. Did they notify you they were dissolving the LLC?
No, they didn't.
Okay, and they didn't give a notice to creditors. Did they have a meeting and vote to dissolve and blah 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 blah? There are a lot of things that you have a right to know. And I'm telling you that it is a really good thing that these laws are in place because it will help you. So I'm just thinking that you need to maybe see an attorney about it. But you got to figure the cost when it comes to all of the what you're owed. Okay, what you're owed compared to what it cost. Now, in these articles of dissolution, it does nothing. It does not list any obligations whatsoever. I personally think that you probably can pierce this corporate veil with an attorney and go after them. But will you get anything is the answer. Did they distribute profits? If they say they didn't make enough money, is he claiming basically that you got every dime? Because they were supposed to pay that obligation first.
No, he knows he owes me because he's paid me out of other LLCs, and he's written me checks.
Well,
out of
I would have an attorney write a letter. Did we get our attorney on yet? Brad O'Brien's on. He looked at it, but in any case, Brad O'Brien is a real estate expert and O'Brien Legal Services. Brad, that promissory note is just a regular promissory note, isn't it? It's not secured.
Well, actually, it does reference a deed of trust executed around the same time against that property. So
does it say it's secured by that deed of trust? I didn't notice that.
Well, at the bottom it says that it is secured by a deed of trust.
Oh, really? I didn't
same
see
day.
that. That's great, actually.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they actually did the deed of trust.
Oh. Well, what if it says it's secured by a deed of trust and there is no deed of trust? What happens then?
Well, then there's no deed of trust, so it's not secured.
Okay. That's weird. So at the bottom it does say that it's secured by a deed of trust. This indebtedness, evidenced by the note, secure. You're right. Secure. Well, couldn't you call that fraudulent by saying it was by giving him a false sense of security? Because it went on to give even the legal of that deed of trust. How would he sell it? How would he sell it if there was a deed of trust on it? Wouldn't he have to get this guy to sign off?
The first step is to find out, is there a deed of trust and was it recorded? And that's a title search. If there was one out there that's recorded, that's great. That means he's secured against the real property.
What if the guy went and sold it without clearing this deed of trust, or he fraudulently signed a release of deed of trust?
Oh, forged your caller's signature?
Yeah.
Well, then that could be invalidated because it's fraudulent.
Listen, this is one time I really believe you should pay for a consultation with Brad O'Brien. Honest to God, he can, in about an hour or so, tell you how they sold this with a deed of trust on it. And if this deed of trust was not ever recorded, even though it said legally described property and a deed of trust, so if he signed a promissory note and it was claimed to have a deed of trust and the deed of trust was never done, would he have grounds to call this fraudulent and pierce that LLC veil?
I don't want to say yes or no, but I think it's unlikely because it's really the lender's prerogative to confirm at the time of receiving a note that the deed of trust or mortgage was done at the very same time.
So he could say it's not my fault if the guy didn't check?
No, the lender should confirm at the time of handing over the money, which was actually a couple of weeks after this.
That's why people pay title companies.
So if the lender, if I loan someone money and they represent to me that a deed of trust has been issued or recorded, it's my obligation to make sure it's true.
Sure, if you're the lender, because it has to be delivered to you. If it's not delivered to you, then it's not effective.
So you can't claim fraud because you defrauded yourself by not checking.
Well, you can claim fraud. I don't think it's a very strong case for fraud.
Okay. And as far as, and this promissory note is against the TDAC LLC, which was dissolved.
Ask him about the dissolution.
Yeah. Well, if they didn't, according to, I'm just reading LLC law, they say if it's not dissolved properly with obligations outstanding, you can go against the individual partners or members.
I agree with that. You can file an articles of dissolution with the Secretary of State. That doesn't mean you're dissolved. To properly, you have to do a winding up of the assets and debts. And if you wind up the assets but not the debts, you're not wound up.
Okay. All right. Then I think this guy ought to pursue it. I mean, how much money are you owed right now? It said 12% per annum, but how much do you figure you're owed right now?
Well, hold on. Go back, Brad. I still have a question on the dissolution if it's not done properly. Let's say, like you said, big deal. You go to Colorado SOS and you say it's dissolved. You didn't actually dissolve it. So where does it stand there? If someone simply goes to Colorado SOS and says their LLC is dissolved and they do owe money, but the corporation doesn't have any money, does that pierce the corporate veil and they can go after the members?
Well, piercing of the corporate veil is an argument you make in a court case to go past the LLC to its owners and members.
And you would use the law, Mark, that allows you to do that as part of your evidence.
Yeah, I heard you say that they were making repayments from various LLCs. That means they were commingling money between LLCs. That's a good argument, normally for piercing the corporate veil of limited liability.
Yeah, I think this guy
What
is
if he
playing
paid me
fast,
from
and
his
this other
personal
guy's
account?
paying fast and loose here.
Hey, does this guy, this owner here, this Terrence Doyle or whoever it is, does he actually do stuff with inmates coming out of prison, or am I looking at a different guy? Well, it's a straight
I don't
question.
know.
Okay, if you don't know, you don't know. That's cool.
So, Brad, thank you very much, by the way. OLSlaw.com, 720-370-7388. Certainly, we love getting his perspective on this as a real estate attorney. Mario, I would consult an attorney at this point. You may want to consult a collection attorney, but you're going to have to pay. Now, you may find an attorney for the outstanding balance. My rough figures, 72. He only owes you what, 25 grand?
Yeah, roughly.
Well, I got another promissory note on the 19th for the other half of the money that he owed me.
Okay, but no matter what, there's a finite number he owes you, and you have to figure out if it's worth going after him or not.
Yeah.
And here's another thing you could do.
It's been going on for 5 years.
Mario, what went on for 5 years?
This debt.
Oh, my
It's been
God,
on
I
for
forgot
5
to
years.
ask that. Wait a minute. Well, you're going to lose your right to get a judgment in a year. I think it's 6 years. Look, you better consult an attorney on this, okay, to get all of your rights in a row. The other thing I want to mention, if you can find other victims, so-called victims, or people that were not paid with similar scenarios, then you might be able to go to the attorney general or district attorney and show a pattern like this. But you'd have to have a number of victims.
I don't know if he'd get out of court. Well, let's say he's successful in court, and let's say he does get a judgment, and let's say the owners have money to pay him that judgment. I still think it's going to cost him over 25 grand to get there.
You know, I have a sad feeling it could be. If they fight it, yeah, it could. It could. And Mario, there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, this is an old debt. You sat on it. You lost money.
Yeah.
Thank goodness you didn't lose more, actually. You want to be honest about this. Thank goodness.
I just want it to be known so nobody else.
Well, is he still making payments to you now out of curiosity? I mean, like when he sells another project, you said he's writing you checks out of another LLC. Are you expecting any more money?
What was the last payment you got?
Oh, yeah. Over a year ago.
Yeah.
And I've tried to contact him. He blocked my number. He doesn't return my messages.
So you're going to have to see an attorney. I don't know if an attorney can help you. As Mark said, it might cost more than it's worth to pursue.
You know what? For the hell of it, let's have Kelly try to reach out. If he blocked this guy, that means he's got a phone number. Let's reach out and see if we can't get this guy to come on and defend his actions.
Maythaler, Jeff Maythaler, and then the other guy, too, whoever the hell he was as part of that LLC. Let's do it. 303-713-8255.
Yep.
Fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan. Help protect your information with LifeLock. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code.
John Fuller, we talked to him a lot about personal injury. You know, you hear about multi-million-dollar awards. I hear about them. But I'd like to know if people collect that. I understood, John, that there are some damages capped in Colorado. Why is that? And what damages are they?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have for years had a law on the books that puts an upper limit or a cap on the amount of non-economic damages that a jury can award somebody regardless of the level of their injuries. And currently that cap, which is sometimes adjusted by cost of living increases, is just below $600,000. you need to understand that the number of cases that actually implicate the cap are an incredibly small percentage of the overall cases. In other words, if you're, a case with 25 or 100 or 250 or even $500,000 of non-economic damages, you're never going to implicate the cap. So it's a very, very small percentage. But when a jury decides that the damages are so great and they award a dollar amount that is greater than that amount, even after hearing all of the evidence and everything else, the cap laws cause the judge to go in and swipe a line across that award and reduce it down to what the legislature thought that you should get in those catastrophic cases. And that's fundamentally unfair, and it should never be that way. And this year, Coloradans are going to have the opportunity to remove those caps so that in the horrible circumstances where the damages are actually that great, we trust in a jury to decide what those damages should be. And so that's one of the many ballot issues that are coming up this year. It is going to be hotly contested by the insurance company, who will say that, anything of this nature will result in rates going through the roof and every other peril that they can think of. But it's never, ever been shown that having caps reduces the cost of insurance to the average consumer.
Exactly.
So look out for that argument. It's crazy. The insurance companies have only one master that they listen to,
Right.
and that's their own bottom line and back pocket.
Well, John Fuller, thank you very much. And if ever something like this was going to get passed, it would be, I think, with a predominantly Democratic legislature. That is John Fuller. He's an expert, by the way, when it comes to personal injury issues. That's why he's our expert here and why you should consult him if you're ever injured. myaccidentlawyer.co. Notice the difference when you call 303-597-4500. Euro Plumbing Colorado will save you money. That's the message. It's a plumbing outfit, and they'll save you money. And we're getting rave reviews. So if you want water heaters, the lowest price water heaters anywhere, and he wants you to put them to the test. $13.99 for a 40-gallon fully installed, the old one taken away, or $14.99 for a 50-gallon. And any plumbing repair, they say they'll do it better and cheaper. EuroPlumbingColorado.net, 303-668-6844.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling the Tom Martino Show.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to talk about this.
What's that?
The
Yes.
the
our
thing
deputies.
that Brian just told me about.
Okay.
The new deductibles on roofing and shit. Oh.
How are they doing them now, Bri?
Go ahead.
I just got a deck page that was sent in to us here. I was just looking at it. It was from a company called Hippo Insurance. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
I've never heard of Hippo.
They're a tech company. I'm leery of them just because they're new. But his deck page I'm looking at here, it's a it's $595,000 on the dwelling.
630 KHAL, an iHeartRadio station.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Now, we have Brian Burns with us, and he wanted to talk about this Dex page. They do insurance checkups all the time, and especially when they're here, so we can give examples on the air. And what I mean by an insurance checkup, you call, they'll ask you questions. They want to look at your reference page, your Dex page, which is a really snapshot of your coverages. It's called the declarations page. And then they give you a quote if they can help you with better coverage, cheaper, or whatever. If they can't help you, that's so what? You have nothing to lose. And you get that done at 303-996-9000, 996-9000. By the way, is theinsurancehelpcenter.com still working?
Yep.
Theinsurancehelpcenter.com. Okay. So listen, Brian, one person sent you a Dex page, and you really thought, wow, I should call this out. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was just kind of looking through some of the ones that have come in, and this particular person is with a carrier called Hippo Insurance, which is kind of a smaller tech kind of company. But anyways, this is why we like having the declaration page sent in, because he thought he had a $1,000 deductible, which he does for an all peril, but he has a 5% wind or hail deductible, which equates to $29,750 for wind and hail claims. So he is basically self-insuring his roof for the most part. $29,000.
Hell yeah, he is.
Yeah. So
how many insurance companies are now doing that?
5% is very rare. Usually on commercial insurance you see that, but on personal insurance, which is what this is, usually you'll see 1% is the more common one.
And what would that turn out to be?
Well, 1% would be almost $6,000. That would be commonplace. You see that all the time now. But 5% is definitely on the higher end.
Do you think there'll ever come a time when they exclude roofs?
Yeah. I think there'll be an option to. I always think you can probably find somewhere where you can buy the coverage back, but roof coverage I foresee becoming really expensive. Just because
I've got a pretty high deductible on mine through you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. And
that's the other way to save money, though, is you simply do first of all, make sure you got a good roof. And then second, if you do have a good roof, then set that deductible at $10,000.
Yeah. Anybody that has like a concrete tile roof, my recommendation, go high on that deductible, because, you can save that annual premium, and that concrete tile, while it can be damaged, it would take an awful lot to have to replace that roof.
So in any case, here's the message. You got way more to look at than your premium. You have to look at the conditions and the terms, because you can end up in big trouble. 303-996-9000. Keith, 6 months ago you called. I'm trying to find your call. And you called about a mobility scooter. Is that right?
Right. About 6 months ago I called in because I'd been on a trip with Southwest, and they confiscated my mobility scooter.
Why did they confiscate it?
It was too big to get on the plane, the battery. I remember this.
Well, first they said it was the battery. Then they said it was made by the Razor company.
Well, in any case, no matter what, they wouldn't let you fly with it.
Right.
Okay, so what happened then?
Well, of course, I want to get it back. And they
wait a minute. You when they took it away, did you pay to have it shipped to you, or what? What? It was at the airport they took it away. Is that right?
Right, the airport in Houston.
And what did they say they were doing with it?
Well, they called me the next day, said they were sorry they'd taken it, and they would return it to my home. They wanted to verify my address.
Okay.
And then after about a week, they said they couldn't return it. They would ship it. And then they called, said they couldn't ship it. and they offered to buy me a new one. Then they said they wouldn't buy me a new one.
Okay.
But after about 60 days, they called and said, "We have your scooter in Houston. You have 3 days to come pick it up, or we'll dispose of it." Now, at that same time, they gave me a voucher, a travel voucher. But if I use the voucher to go to Houston to recover my scooter, how the hell am I supposed to get home?
Well, I don't know. I don't know the answer to any of that.
Here's why I called.
Is it still there? Is it still there?
No, they've disposed of it.
Okay.
So I need to at least file a small claims action.
I think so.
But I can't get an attorney to talk to me.
Well, you don't need an attorney.
You don't use an attorney.
Not for small claims.
Well, I'm not sure that it's maybe, how big a case could it be?
What's the value of the scooter? That's your whole case.
$500.
There you go.
Well, okay. Small claims court goes up to $7,500.
Right.
It'll cost you $500 if an attorney farts.
Yeah, I think Southwest, so I think they'd pay this up. I remember this call. They understand what happened. And what's weird, Tom, is when he left, they did fly the scooter. It's only where he got to where he was at, they wouldn't fly it back. So the whole thing's kind of crazy.
It's crazy.
I think they
Kelly,
did wrong,
Kelly, give him my email, and I'll help him out logistically.
I think that you can sue them. What airline is it?
Southwest.
Hey, and by the way, I want to agree with something with you, Tom, on Southwest. I think their boarding is horrible. We flew this last trip. We had 3 different airlines. Southwest is who we flew back from Mexico to Denver. And it is the dumbest way to load a plane I've ever seen. Just real quick, listen to this. We paid for priority boarding, which they call, Group A. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
So you're supposed to be one of the first X amount onto the plane. Well, in Cabo, you take a bus from the gate to the airline. You don't walk down the thing. You get me?
Yeah.
So they line you up to get on the bus first. So we paid $90 additional to get on the bus first. The problem with that is when you get on the bus first, you get off the bus last. The people in C got off the bus first at the aircraft and loaded the aircraft first. I paid $90 to be last.
Oh, wait a minute. How the hell didn't they know they were doing that? Like, why when you were A, why didn't you sit in the front of the bus?
I have no idea. I have no, because they're morons. I don't know.
No, what I mean is,
they prioritize getting on the bus, not the aircraft. It was so
I get what
dumb.
you're saying, but here's what I'm asking. Once you got to the plane, why did they let C people off first?
Because you'd get off the bus and walk onto the plane. All the people on A that got onto the bus first were in the back of the bus.
Oh.
Because they're morons. There's your answer. But I complained when we got back, and they gave me a credit for the thing, which I'll probably never use. I'll probably just give it to you because you fly them. Yeah. I don't think I'd fly them again. I don't like their whole boarding thing. Is ridiculous.
I want a seat. I don't like this cattle call. It's terrible. And what's really terrible about it is the saving seats. I mean, you get one A guy, that's what he does, and he'll save 3 rows, and they don't say a word about it.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And I'm like you. I don't care if I'm going to a movie or on an airplane. I like to either pick out my seat or at least know where the hell I'm sitting.
Right, exactly. And we've also tried paying for priority boarding, and that's a little better, but it's still a pain in the ass. That's what you did, and it backfired with the bus. Now, as far as Keith goes, let's let Mark talk to him about filing a small claim. He'll give him the directions on where to go and file, or where to go and get the forms and all of that. I think Southwest will settle with you, and you'll get a mobility scooter. I'd actually sue for more than $500. Are you kidding me? People would believe that a mobility scooter would be whatever it costs. I mean, that's what I would do. Okay, 303-713-8255. Frank Duran, the realestateman.com is who you call if you want to know what your house will sell for and what you'll clear and what you can buy. He'll do a full analysis free of charge for the asking with no obligation. And you can trust Frank to give you accurate information. He doesn't use any gimmicks. He just uses proven results and proven strategies. 303-920-1622.
This hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com.
Some good news on the north end of town. I-25 southbound, a crash at 84th has been all cleared up. Still seeing some slow traffic back from 136th, about 10 minutes of delays. Heading east and north of DIA, 470 southbound, stop-and-go traffic continues between 104th and Pena Boulevard. We're seeing about 10 minutes of delays. Back to I-25 into downtown southbound road. Some normal stop-and-go for the 10 o'clock hour heading to 11. Between I-70 and Spear Boulevard, we're seeing speeds in the 30s and 40s. Fox 31, pinpoint weather. It's a pinpoint weather alert day. Scattered rain throughout the Denver metro, turning to snow this evening and accumulating overnight into Friday. The current temperature is 46 degrees with your Impact Traffic and Weather. Mark Swan at 630 K-House.
Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
You know, beautiful showers make an entire bathroom. K&H Home Solutions, who we trusted for 65 years for everything on the outside of your house. Now the oldest home improvement company in Colorado is moving to the inside as well. They're still doing outside, but they will help you renew your bathroom. That's right. You can do a beautiful bathroom with a new shower, a new bath. All you have to do is give them a call for your free estimate, and you can trust them to be transparent on all of their pricing, no hidden costs, and you'll know exactly what it will cost you up front. 303-421-7100. That's khwindows.com. That's how they started out with Windows, khwindows.com. 303-421-7100. You know, Red Rock's Roof and Solar says it all. They are a complete solar company, including the roof, so they can work around your roof and repair your roof and with your solar system. Now, here's the deal. They know all about financing, grants, and also tax credits. Plus, they sell the systems, install the systems, and service the systems. You won't do better than redrocksrs.com, a complete solar system. If you're doing a commercial system, they can show you how to make money with it by selling back to the grid. 303-704-2449. Okay, estate planning is something everyone needs. I don't think anyone disputes that, right? So what do you need? Just finding out can be a pain in the ass. But Keel and Park, that's an E on the end of each of those, Keel and Park, they do it in a very simple, straightforward fashion. They'll look at everything you have, call them free of charge, and you answer questions, and they will come up with a plan for you. Free of charge. Now, if you decide to have it done, it's a flat rate. You can have it all done or some of it done, and they price accordingly. Keel and Park don't put off estate planning, whether it's a simple will, a trust, passing on a business. 970-818-8198 for your free consultation. lawkp.com.
No. Oh, nightmare. I know. I'm sorry, dude. Yep. See, you know, like I was saying, it affects one guy. Thanks, God. This is great. Just one dude getting screwed.
You
My
bastard.
God, what was that?
Hey, shut up.
Jesus, is your lung on the floor? Hey, Brian, did his head pop?
He's still here.
Holy crap, that was loud.
1099R.
He had a sneeze during that segment. And
I know.
He put it
Oh, did he?
Oh, I couldn't imagine being back for that. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. So they're just saying.
Hey, Mark.
the start
Yes,
time
sir.
I was going to tell you
broadcast
earlier in the show
would be
when I
like
mentioned
7
maybe
p.m.?
you should sleep there.
Yeah.
Suzanne liked the idea of it.
Yeah. But she wants to go home.
No, she's at home. She's playing hooky.
Yeah, she said,
She gets
great
a lot.
suggestion. I'd get some peace and quiet for the night.
Yeah, right. She gets a lot. Whatever.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, unfortunately, gosh darn it. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't set it up in 4 hours. It's an all day Thursday thing. I'm going to get out there at 2 p.m. and just go until 2 p.m. Friday. But shoot a poodle, then come back. Yeah, man, I guess I could Uber back, maybe.
Tom, you know where I got to go? I ended up going to the U2 concert at the Sphere.
Ah, sweet, man.
It was
You
so
did?
cool. Oh,
Wow.
it was great. Yeah.
You can't really see them, though, can you?
Oh yeah, our seats you could. We were pretty
Okay.
close.
Why is it that big, though?
It's
we were
holds
pretty
about
high up.
18,000. It's about the size of Ball Arena, but it's all on one side.
Oh,
You know,
gotcha.
it's
Okay.
not
It's
a full
very
circle
aggressive
of
slope.
seats.
Then you can see.
Yeah, it just goes really high up. We were down low, so we could see really well.
Okay.
It was awesome.
Boy, I wonder when he'd have to let me know that he can't get in. So
That's pretty cool.
Because
Yep.
I'm going to
worked
set
out.
the van up to be the broadcast site.
It worked out perfect.
there.
My wife had her between chemo and radiation. There was like this
How is she
gap.
doing, by the way?
She's doing okay. She's doing radiation every day right now. So she
Yeah,
does
well,
Monday
yeah,
through
I
Friday.
set up the van
They
because
check the size.
it's
They did
it's a lot
before
of
they started
equipment I can't
radiation.
without in the
So the
snow.
chemo brought the
And then-
mass
yeah,
down
and
quite a
then-
bit.
and so
Yeah.
then the van
So
is
now they're doing
huge.
radiation and then they're going to do surgery. But there was this gap between radiation and chemo, and I was like, let's go do it. So we flew out to Las Vegas for a couple nights and did it. The chemo knocked her out. The radiation's not too bad. No. She is
Mine at khout.com.
Yeah, she still looks great.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. So we're doing insurance checkups at 303-996-9000, which is the Insurance Help Center. And by the way, we're still taking your calls on any and all things at 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. So speaking of things near and dear to your heart and pocketbook.
Hey, Tom, you want to hear about the glass place?
Yeah,
Can you get a minute?
I do. Let's get some follow-ups because you had a number of them too. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the follow-ups. What do you have first?
Okay, so yesterday, Marin called about a refund from Feet.
Oh, Good Feet. You know what? That was great news. I want you to tell that story. So she called. Let me explain this. She went to Good Feet. Now, I want to be fair about this. She really felt that she didn't get value out of what she spent there. Now, she was willing to pay for the socks because she opened them, and the shoes. She said, they're good shoes, Brooks Brothers, or Brooks. I don't know if it's Brooks, but Brooks. And then she said, I don't like the inserts. I think they're overpriced, and I didn't get the value, and I can't use them in my low-profile shoes. And she wanted a refund for that part of it. And she was being, she said, ignored by some of the local people. What happened after she called?
Well, I wasn't at the show yesterday, so I called her last evening when I got done with what I was doing, and she said, you know what? I finally got to the person who handles refunds, and they gave me over $1,300 of my $1,700 back. There was a slight restocking fee, but her total cost, as I said, was $1,700, and she got a little over $1,300 back.
Good job, Doc.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. I just called her.
Yeah,
I'm sure. I guarantee they had wind of it.
Oh,
Maybe.
Yeah, of course they did on the show for sure.
Right. And then Darren.
Hold on.
Darren
I want to give
called-
ourselves. I want to give ourselves a dinger.
Give Doc that big dinger of yours.
Okay, the big one.
And then Darren called about her son, Jeffrey, having some problems with multiple dentists.
Yes.
Oh, I'm dying to hear that one.
So I went through the whole.
Well, hold on. Tom, recap that real quick.
Which one is that?
The one with the dentures.
Yes, hold on. That's
the
one dinger,
dentures
one
and
dinger
the,
there. Okay, here's what happened. This guy went to the dentist, Darren. It was actually Darren's son, Jeffrey.
Right.
Diagnosed with leukemia at 2 years old. He's 31 now. To make a long story short, what happened was he had severe dental issues. So
from the chemo when he was a kid.
Yeah, and he can't afford anything. So one dentist did a bunch of implants free as anchors for the dentures. Another dentist, Dr. Brandon Angus, agreed to make the dentures free. And Mark thought she was jumping the gun, complaining about this guy, because here's what happened. The son, Jeffrey, had to drive there several times for fittings, and he thought, you know what? Darren, the mom, was frustrated. Jeffrey was frustrated, and they complained about this guy. Now, remember, I don't want to throw shade on Dr. Angus. He's trying to do this free of charge. What's the latest on that?
Well, after we went through the whole story, I said, okay, the first thing you have to do is make a complaint to the dental board and let them see whether or not something was done that was out of standard of care. So they said, well, we just sent a complaint into the dental board this afternoon. So I said, fine. As soon as you get a response from the board, one way or the other, let me know, and we'll follow up from there.
I don't think so. You didn't get a HIPAA thing signed for her to call Angus, but
but if she already sent to the dental board, I think we need to let that play out.
Okay, that's fine. And I don't think this dentist is doing anything really wrong. I mean, he did have him come up several times to try to fit him. It could be that he's having complications with the fitting.
Tom, it was the second doctor they were upset about.
That's what I'm saying, Dr. Angus.
No. They saw Dr. Angus first. He sent them for dentures. The dentures never fit, so he sent them to Dr. Johnston, who is going to put full mouth implants into Jeffrey's mouth.
Mark, listen.
Doc.
Hold on. He was listening yesterday. I just hate to disagree with you, but Doc, I know that the original dentist already did the implants. They're in his mouth. The doctor he's going to see now is Dr. Angus, who is putting on the dentures. He's having problems with the dentures, not with the implants. The implants are done and have been done for 3 years. Okay.
Well, I got a different story, Tom.
Who did you get the story from?
From Jeffrey.
Okay, then his mom was crazy. Okay, bottom line is, did Jeffrey say he doesn't have implants?
That's correct. He has the studs, but not the implants.
The studs are the implants.
Well, he doesn't have the teeth on top of the studs.
That's called the restoration, the denture. That's exactly what I just said. He had a doctor do the implants, and they work. They're there.
Tomato.
Yeah. I don't want to kill our audience. We probably already did. So let's hope we can get them back. Here's the bottom line. The dentist making the dentures they're upset with, and that is Dr. Angus. And they're upset with him, and they shouldn't be. He's doing it free. So let's see what the dental board says. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255.
But when we get back.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by College Invest.
Some good news on the north end of town. I-25 southbound, a crash at 84th has been all cleared up. Still seeing some slow traffic back from 136th, about 10 minutes of delays. Heading east and north of DIA, 470 southbound, stop-and-go traffic continues between 104th and Pena Boulevard. We're seeing about 10 minutes of delays. Back to I-25 into downtown southbound road. Some normal stop-and-go for the 10 o'clock hour heading to 11. Between I-70 and Spear Boulevard, we're seeing speeds in the 30s and 40s. Fox 31, pinpoint weather. It's a pinpoint weather alert day. Scattered rain throughout the Denver metro, turning to snow this evening and accumulating overnight into Friday. The current temperature is 46 degrees with your Impact Traffic and weather. Mark Swan at 630 K-House.
It's tax season. which could be saving season if you open a college savings account with College Invest. Not only will you be saving for college, you could earn a Colorado income tax deduction for 2024. Start saving today at collegeinvest.org.
Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies is really, it's a great name because that's what they do. They plan your retirement or help you plan your retirement, not just investments. That's one part of it. You may have a 401k and IRA. How does it last you? You may have some insurance. Do you have long-term care? You may have some investments. Are they in the right things to keep that income coming through retirement? They look at your entire picture. And they do it free of charge and give you recommendations. And then if you hire them, their charges are built in, and they the money they save you far outweigh the small charges you pay. I know, I'm a client, and I became a client of them, and they became a sponsor of the show around the same time. And I'm a paying client, and I'm very pleased with rpcenter.com. 970-663-3211. 970-663-3211.
Thank you.
I got to figure out our next trip. Susan and I haven't been on vacation for a long time.
God, you're gross.
Good morning. Thanks for calling the Tom Martino Show.
Where'd you go in Mexico?
How are you?
Cancun, or no, Cabo.
How was it?
It was freaking great, man.
Isn't there a travel warning over there right now?
No, not in Cabo.
In Cancun?
There is. No, I don't know about I doubt Cancun, to be honest. But there's lots of travel warnings over there for sure, man.
Yeah.
Like Mexico City.
I know it's in Cancun because I was looking.
Got it.
But I know that's
we so the first one, the Hard Rock, was in the middle of nowhere, man. So I mean, really, there's nothing but the resort.
What's your name?
And then the second one was right downtown Cabo, which was my favorite by far, man. I wouldn't do another. I'm done with all-inclusive, sir. I mean, all you do is fucking eat and drink.
I know.
We like walking around town and, doing shit.
Yeah. Yeah, the all-inclusives, I mean, I've been to a lot of those resorts.
I have, too. You know what, though? If you got kids and stuff, man.
I know.
They're the bomb. The kids club.
Yep.
But, yeah, so the second one, though, is probably one of the nicest hotels we've stayed in. It was just gorgeous, man. I'm thinking a cruise.
Well, talk about all you do is eat and drink. There you go.
No, but some of the Alaskan ones.
Yeah, I've done an Alaskan cruise.
Every single day you're getting off and doing something,
Yeah, you get off every day, but
I'm not talking like the booze cruise, not a carnival. I'm talking something nice.
Vikings are nice, too, through Europe, through the Mediterranean.
Yeah, riverboat stuff's cool.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do one through Russia, but I'll be damned if that's
to
happening.
Alaska. Have you heard of that one?
Yes, I have heard of it, and I've looked at it.
The
Hey,
inland
Tom.
waterway, I hear, is
Tom,
beautiful.
we got two different stories on this dental thing.
I don't think anyone cares, though. What's the two
No,
different
I'm talking
stories?
to you and me. I got the feeling that the first doctor put dentures, which were
You can't put dentures unless you have the implants.
No, Doc's saying just regular old dentures.
Regular dentures.
Not implant dentures.
Right. That's what I think we're getting confused.
Okay.
It always sounds like two old
You know
guys
what?
fighting
Here's
over
the thing.
Get off
Doc.
my lawn.
Doc,
It's
here's
my
the
turn
thing.
to watch.
Yeah.
It's possible the mom didn't know what the hell she was talking about. That's very possible.
I would guess that is a very good possibility.
So she might have just
And there's a possibility Doc has no idea what he's talking about.
Well, that's also a very good possibility.
And there's one more possibility.
What is
here.
it? What is it?
Tom wasn't listening and doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And both of them are
We all know
confused
that
about
one.
what's getting stuck in their mouth.
By the way, Tom, we just have a quick update on that glass thing.
Okay.
The guy that called up this morning.
Yeah, got it. Thank
Oh, we have 2 calls, so we're never going back to you.
Thank you.
If you add, I'm trying to think here. I'm just years of experience. So,
Of
Tom
just
is
being alive?
70.
Yeah.
And then Doc, how old are you?
79.
79.
So to go back to the signing of the Declaration, here we go.
Between
6:30, K-How.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Tabitha, the recall on your airbags, I happen to know a little bit about it because it's not just the Dodge Charger, the older Dodge Chargers. They're any airbags manufactured by Takata, who makes airbags for a lot of cars. They're having problems with the inflators. The inflators get old, and instead of inflating, they blow up.
God, they've been having problems with that brand of airbag for 15 years.
So what's going on with your situation, Tabitha?
Well, I'm sure I can get it fixed. I'm just looking for a reputable dealership, either in Denver or Colorado Springs or Pueblo. I don't care, somewhere here in Colorado, that will, be able to fix it. But in the letter that I received, they're also supposed to provide a loaner vehicle for 1 to 2 days. And I need my vehicle for work, obviously. I'm just, whenever I call the dealership.
Wait a minute. The recall promises a replacement vehicle?
Yes, temporary. Yes. While they're fixing it, because it could take 1 to 2 days to fix it.
Really? Okay. I didn't even know they were doing that. Don't we have? Where are you located? Where are you in Denver?
Colorado Springs.
Good. Colorado Springs Dodge.
Yes. Yeah.
That's where you want to go.
Yeah, I like those guys a lot.
Yeah, I don't want to mention any names, but they didn't want to loan me a vehicle. Obviously, I got to have a vehicle.
Wait a minute.
My work.
Colorado Springs Dodge but you told them that I'm going by your word. You're saying the recall says they have to give you a vehicle?
Yes. On the paperwork, it says that they have to give me a loaner vehicle temporarily, and it wasn't Colorado Springs Dodge. It was Perkins and Auto Nation.
I do not like Perkins.
No. You want to go to Colorado Springs Dodge specifically. Who does she talk to there, Mark?
Andy's in service, or Jim Janicelli's a GM.
Talk to Jim Janicelli or service. And seriously, they're good people. Call
Just
us
call
back
up, ask
after
for
you
Andy.
talk to them. They should do it.
Thank you.
Do you have any examples?
Say Colorado Springs Dodge.
Where's Istanbul?
Turkey.
Fuck, that sounds horrible.
All right, I hope that helps, Tabitha.
This particular cruise goes to, it's high end too, man. It's Regent 7 Seas, but it goes to, God, you started Istanbul. Isn't that like, don't you get killed and kidnapped there?
That's supposed to be an incredible city for tourists.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
Izmir, where the hell's that? And then Athens, of course, that sounds fine. Naples, Rome, Monte Carlo's where you end up. You know what I've never understood about cruises?
What is that?
You know, you get a room, and let's say the room is $4,000 for a 10-day cruise, okay? If it's just you, it's $4,000 for the 10-day cruise in the room.
Right.
If you add a person, it doubles, even though it's the same room, because they charge you per person. Now, I can understand, like, it an all-inclusive why they do it, and you know what? This ship probably is all-inclusive, but a cheap ship like a Carnival, wouldn't you be better getting 2 rooms that adjoin so you have double the space for the same price as 2 people in one room?
I would assume so.
I wonder how Suzanne would feel if I just went on the cruise. Then we could save that amount of money. Oh, here's where it is, Doc. I answered my own question. Right. It says prices shown is per person based on double occupancy. Right. So I guess you can't go on a cruise by yourself.
Well, there are some cruises that will make accommodations for single.
Singles probably. Have you ever been on one of those, a singles
I've
cruise?
Been on a cruise.
Ever?
Ever.
God, we were on one. Our honeymoon cruise was awesome. Norwegian. It was great.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, man.
Do you want me, because I'm here in the studio, do you want me to do a short video for you? I know we have one for the referral list already. Do you want me to do a short video for any of these other pages?
Yeah, I mean, send what you think what is good. Yeah.
Good.
But on the radio one, remember, we're concentrating on why use us. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Got it.
But you can mention in there, for example, TV and shit too. I mean,
no, I don't have to, but I can basically talk about us and what we do.
Yeah, the benefit. And I don't mind going right up against iHeart saying, look, you're going to get, why go direct?
No, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're the concierge.
Well, yeah.
I'll be right back.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling the Tom Martino Show.
I'm just getting more.
Brian, don't let him push any buttons.
Oh.
This is actually a hell of a good deal, this one.
What is it?
Oh. You should,
it is. Listen to this, man. First of all, you got to understand this cruise line. They're fucking great.
Which one is it?
It is Regent.
Okay.
So it's a 7 Seas Navigator. It was just refurbished a couple years ago. It's a very small boat, and this would be all over Europe. It includes everything. There is no extra pricing. It includes the excursions almost daily. It includes great food. They're known for their food. That you even have a fully stocked bar in each room. Wow. And this would be a suite. And the amount of time on the cruise is 11 days. So 11 days.
How much?
Under $8,000.
Wow. Sounds pretty good.
I want to see how big the stateroom is.
I have a brain tumor.
At least one traveler in the stateroom is age 55 or older. Shit.
Take me with you.
Yeah, we can take Doc. I wonder if you're 110 if you get a double discount. That's a pretty nice stateroom, actually.
You know what you should do, Mark? You and Susie get a free cruise.
What do you mean?
I met somebody at AARP who got free cruises because he was an astronomer, and he would give lectures once or twice.
Oh, yeah.
You can go on as a consumer.
I have no interest in that.
Really? For 3 hours a week getting a free cruise?
Nah, no interest. Tom's done that in the past, a long time ago. Yeah.
And he's gotten a free cruise out of it?
Oh, I'm sure. In fact, I think, Dragon, aren't you going to Egypt?
Yes.
Yeah, when's that?
Friday. We leave Friday afternoon.
Yeah,
Friday
that's a cruise. Is that through the actual cruise line, or is it through
the company Cruise and Tours?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. The agency.
Yeah.
I thought, what's funny is we got that huge agency in the building now, and no one's done a deal with them yet. Suzanne and I used Globus fucking years ago, 3-week trip in Italy. It was the tits, man.
Nice.
It was the bomb.com.
Well, we'd have to have a sales staff to do it.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right, this one's 300 square feet.
Talent for leads.
This is actually, for a cruise, that's a huge room. Valet laundry service included. Man, Suzanne, if you're listening, I might just book this.
Where does it go, Mark?
It's late, though. Listen, we're talking. This is November 5th. This is a long ways away. This would not be our next trip. But this price goes away quick. And it's nice. I mean, this is a real deal. Istanbul to Rome.
Istanbul, Constantinople.
I've met a couple of people who just loved Istanbul. They said there's so much history, so much to see.
10
it
seconds
used to be
here, guys.
Constantinople. So it was really the seat of the West.
And we'll have the latest fallout after Ken Buck drops a political bomb on the GOP. Join me at 4.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. How are you doing today? This hour brought to you by 888heating.com, who's doing that free plumbing inspection. Remember that, free, of the entire system. Also, Genesis Total Exteriors, I want to remind you that they are doing the latest and greatest products, including that roof that actually is good for the environment. It turns pollutants into harmless nitrogen gases, which are leached into the soil with rain, and they also help clean up the air infiltrating into your home. It's an unbelievable product. Genesis Total Exteriors for all your storm damage. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. Ira, he wants to talk about a neighbor's blog. Let's talk about that. Plus, we have Compass Insurance Group in the house doing insurance checkups at 303-996-9000. Ira, what's going on?
Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
Hey, a long-time listener.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
I gain a lot of valuable knowledge about the world through your show. So here's the deal. We have a community member who's a 150% narcissist. He's been thrown off the board twice. The community has voted to restrict him from being on the board for 3 years.
Wow.
He has his own little website that mimics our HOA. And he...
Now, what kind of a community is this? Is it a condo, townhome, single-family homes, what?
Single-family homes. There's about 85, 87 homes. Very nice community. And this guy writes emails to the boards, to our lawyers, to our management company that we had. The management company quit us because of the numerous demands that he was making on them. They said they can't afford to keep up with us, so they quit us.
All because of this guy?
Yes, and nobody wants to participate on committees and boards anymore because nobody wants to get inundated and demonized by this guy.
Come on, is he that bad? So hold on. What does he do on his website?
He writes all a bunch of crap. He misleads the community. I don't know if maybe a few people read it, I don't know. But with misinformation, lies, and slander on our board members, our community members.
Okay, let me ask you something. Can't the guy just be ignored?
Well, that's what we're doing now. But he's also called the sheriff's on me numerous times.
Does he live right next to you?
No, he lives around the corner. And he's accused me of stalking him. He's accused me of reading his email off his computer in his office when I walk my dog behind the open space behind his house. And he's also...
Okay, let's talk about this guy. How old is this guy?
He's about 47, around 47, 50.
Is he married with kids?
Married, single. Married, no kids.
So, Here's the thing. Is he violent?
No.
Okay. What is his deal? What do you think? Is he mentally ill? I mean, what do you think's going on?
Yeah. He's a narcissist.
Well, I mean that's a
behavior.
popular term, but what do you mean?
Well, he he blames everybody and he creates problems. We have a drainage area with a hard pan of cement, and he wants the community, to raise funding for when the hard pan breaks up in 20 to 40 years. So we have money for it to be repaired.
How long has he lived there?
Since inception of the community, about 2007.
And have you lived there that long too?
I have. I also been on the board. Too.
Has anyone ever tried to just talk to him?
It's impossible. Yes. You can't. And then.
But what are you trying to achieve? I mean, I don't even
what I'm
get it.
saying is, Ira, what harm is he doing?
Well, he demonizes the community. He demonizes.
But give me
people,
a specific example of demonizing the community.
Community. And these are hundreds of pages. He demonizes the community by telling the community that the board is maliciously fiduciary, being irresponsible. And,
okay, Ira, listen. He's a crankpot, okay? So,
right.
But he has a right to be a crankpot.
Absolutely. But lying and misleading and slandering.
Well, hold on. No. You have a right to lie and mislead as long as it's not in commercial endeavors and as long as it doesn't do civil harm to someone. So are there damages created? Don't tell me people are just pissed off. Are there actual damages? Does he make actual accusations against people that are damaging?
Well, yes.
Give me one example. Just one. Just give me one example. And Ira, I'm not making you the enemy here. I need to know. I need to have some solid stuff here.
He wrote in his blog that I personally am as a stalker, and I'm stalking him and his wife.
Now, how did that damage you?
Well, I'm a doctor in the community.
How did it damage you, though? How did it damage you?
Well, I can't really. I really can't prove any damage, but it's just.
How did he say? How did he actually say? Did he publish that on his website?
Yes.
And do you mind? Would you mind giving us off the air, so we don't give this guy publicity, the website that we can look at?
Oh, I'd be happy to.
All right, hold on. I want to do that before we go on. I want to see.
Okay.
I want to see what he's publishing. I want to see how damaging or how crazy it is. 303.
Well,
go ahead. What?
Oh, I mean, it's not damaging. I mean, you're right there. It's just very frustrating.
I don't think as many people go. Do a lot of people read the website?
No.
Then why do you care so much, Ira? He's pissing you off. That's what it is, right?
That he's slandering my name.
Well,
that I'm a stalker and I go spy on him and do. I know.
Yeah, but nobody's going to believe it.
True. So maybe I should just thank you for letting me vent. And
I'd like to read. I'd like to, before I send you on your merry way, I'd like to read the website. Because I don't know. To me, it doesn't sound like. To me, it doesn't sound like it's going to be a major deal if everyone thinks he's a nut. In fact, the more nutty people are, do you realize the more nutty people are, the less responsibility they have?
Yes. Yes. No, I understand and I agree with you, and that's what the community and the board.
But he's doing
right now.
What he's doing is actually, if it's untrue, it's libel. That's printed. Slander is verbal. So he is basically doing, but I want to see if it is libelous. I mean, he can give his, if it's libel, I mean, he can give his opinions even if they're off base. He can't speak fact. So before we just hold on, Ira, I don't want you to hang up. I really do want to see it because I'm curious what I would do or what I think about it. There are people like this in the world that you just got to get along. I mean, not get along. You got to learn to ignore them in some cases. Seriously. I mean, I swear to God, if I counted over the years that the people who did that, you know, we'd have a small city. 303-713-8255. What I want you to do is send that to me and we'll give an opinion. Meanwhile, people, give me a call with any problems, questions, or complaints. Renew Home Innovation. They do beautiful bathroom showers, mainly showers. And now they can do the whole bathroom, but they'll take out that old combination shower and tub, that old, ugly, noisy thing you step over. They're usually metal or weak plastic. They'll get rid of that crap and put in a beautiful rectangle shower pan with stone-like walls with no maintenance, beautiful glass panels, no curtains or doors needed, no thresholds, perimeter drains, grab bars, soap dishes, benches, whatever you want. They can get it done in 2 or 3 days. You have 72 months to pay with no interest. That's incredible. RenewHomeInnovations.com, 303-904-2000.
Regen Revolution has one primary goal: to help you the way they're helping me to get back to being mobile and active if you're having issues with joints or muscles that are keeping you from the mobility that you want. Bad knees, hips, shoulder, want to avoid surgery but want to be able to walk or run or play a sport without constant pain? Talk to Regen Revolution, set up a free consultation, and let's see how Regen Revolution can help you. Learn more at regenrev.com. That's REGENREV.com.
All right, so Simply Floors has made a name for itself by being a solution for all floor coverings, not just in the selection and the sales, but in the perfect installation and follow-up and attention to detail, with no job too big, no job too small. And they have proximity mills supplying the floors, whether it's luxury vinyl planking, carpeting, tile, whatever you need, hardwoods, laminates, engineered floors. SimplyFloorsInc.com. You will love the way they do business. Make your own appointment at SimplyFloorsInc.com. Hey, if you're looking for window coverings to go along with those beautiful floor coverings, you want to call Made in the Shade. Now, I'm going to give you their contact information. And from there, they come and visit, make suggestions with a design consultant. They measure free of charge. And then if you like the package, you order it, and they have the best installers in the business. Plus, they warranty everything. Made in the Shade. That's denvershades.co. Made in the Shade. 720-458-6566.
Hi, it's Glenn Beck. Have you been thinking about selling your home? If you want the most money, call the agent.
Tom, I put the website up.
Yeah, I saw that. Thanks.
God, I hate that commercial. Kelly, did you get the blog info, the website?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you ask that guy the name of the website? Don't say it out loud, but put it on the call.
Yeah, it's under call notes.
Oh, I see it.
It's including the name of the guy.
Like January 20th or something, Congress is sworn in. We'll leaving Congress, States Marine Corps Memorial Foundation. They're on their break a leg.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thanks for being here. All right.
This guy just sits around doing this blog all day. It's funny.
Is it a pain in the ass kind of guy?
It's the website itself is like just.
Will anybody think it's real?
I don't know. I mean, yeah. It's not. I don't see anything.
And where does it talk about
derogatory?
him?
It's basically no man's land. POHOA ignores maintenance at blah blah blah. It's just story after story.
But where is it about him? I don't see anything about him.
Board.
Is the guy's name Irv or is it Ira?
I don't know. Me oh my, landscape community.
Nobody gives a shit about this. Nobody's even going to read it. It's so laborious. Ugh.
That's what I mean. It's like, it's just, that you can tell, though, this guy just sits around every day playing with this. You remember my ParkerWaterSucks.com?
Yeah.
That's what this guy should have done.
Well, when he said he had an obnoxious neighbor like that, I said, do you live in Franktown?
My neighbors are so far away.
This is like weird. There's nothing in here. I don't think anybody would even read it. How can we get traffic counts on this, Mark?
I have no clue.
Yeah, we can. We can do Google Analytics on it, I think. I think you can just ask, right, or not?
Let me see.
I'm going to do it.
Mm-mm-mm.
It's better to do both early to start thinking. Incredible saving.
An investigative blog series. It's like true crime. Truth to power, the right to complain without retaliation. An HOA free speech zone. Ooh, this guy's got a lot of content. I'll give him that.
Oh, is this the guy with the HOA problem?
But what I'm saying is it's something no one will read.
No.
Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. You know, Ira, I have to tell you something. You are way overreacting to this. Man, this website, it sucks. I mean, no one would ever take the time, ever, other than for entertainment purposes, to take it seriously. I mean, the guy does nothing but complain every single day. Nobody cares. You see, you care because you think there's some stuff in there about you. I mean, that happens to me every day. I mean, and it happens to anyone. Listen, anyone who has opinions about anything, you know, especially in the media, what I'm saying is you just gotta forget about it. I'm serious. If you're asking if there's anything actionable here, no, I don't think there is. I'm not giving you legal advice, but I don't think there's a prayer's chance in hell or in heaven that you can get this stopped at all. In fact, you'll only agitate them more.
Right. I agree there.
I think the more you ignore this guy, all of you, the faster he goes away.
Hey, what's the dog biting incident, though? What happened?
Oh, our bylaw says there's no pit bulls, and there was somebody had a pit bull that got loose and
holy moly,
and attacked the dog. Lucky, just a dog and not a child or somebody.
And it looks like the HOA ended up paying out just in legal expenses $5,000 or something.
No, they didn't. That's his opinion.
Okay,
he has no idea.
I get you.
So the dog is gone. To be honest, I think it's my disabled military PTSD kicking in a little bit. That gets me a little agitated.
Hey, may I ask you something?
But I agree.
Does this guy, is this a self-portrait of the guy with the ponytail, the long gray hair and beard?
Yes. Yep. No beard.
Oh, okay.
Just no. He just has a ponytail. I think that's just a character of him, maybe.
Okay, listen, man. I mean, you got to forget about this guy totally.
He must have literally nothing to do but
Does this guy have a job?
I have no idea. But you're right. That's what the community is doing and the board is doing. When they receive emails from them, they just say, thank you, we received your email, and that's it. And they don't engage.
I mean, the guy is just totally...
He's on it every month, too. If you look at the archives, I mean, every single month for the past,
Has he ever
4
tried
years?
to run for office?
He's been on the board, and he claims he's on the board now because he said he claimed he self-nominated himself at one of our meetings, and nobody addressed it. And
This guy just wants to get under your skin, man.
Yeah.
I know. All right. But it was nice to talk to you, and I feel better now getting it off my chest.
Well, you know what? You can feel better knowing that I have no dog in this fight. And if I read that and thought, you know what? I know why Ira's upset, because this guy is poking the bear and telling the truth, but he's not. As soon as I go to that website, I think nut.
Right. And, and I've lost some community relationships along the way, and I look at it that if this is what you want to believe, then you're probably not really a friend, so no problem.
Hey, Ira, this where is in general? Where's this community located in general?
Up north.
How far up north?
By LaPorte.
Okay. Well, good luck to you, man.
Hey, no sweat.
I will never visit
I'm
this
good.
site again.
Well, if you want a good laugh, you can always pull it back up.
I think what Mark said is accurate. The guy has no life. None. Zero.
Right. All right. Well, you have a great day. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
All
you
right.
listening. 303-713-TALK,
Now,
713-8255.
You know what he could do? He could get, I don't want to use the guy's name, but he could get his first and last name.com.
Is it available?
I'm pretty sure it would be. I haven't looked. And then he could have his own website with this guy's name and then put up anything he wants. He could put up a picture of a goat. It doesn't matter what he puts up. There's nothing anybody could do about it, but, that might get under the other guy's skin.
Spoken like a real...
Shut up.
All right, never mind.
ParkerWaterSucks.com.
Is it still yours?
No, I gave that up years ago.
Didn't you Didn't you to get Jay Marvin one time just to get under his skin?
Oh, God, did I? And I got under his skin like you wouldn't
He
believe.
was a talk show host at one time, and he was really, I thought he was extremely
manic.
funny and talented and wild. He was crazy.
He was manic.
Did you take jmarvin.com?
Yep, I owned it. I wouldn't give it to him.
And he was pissed.
He was really pissed. Shannon probably remembers that. Shannon was his board op forever and a day. But that Parker Water years ago, they probably still do it. If you water your lawn on a certain day or not on a certain day, you get in trouble. So they fined me. The damn water district fined me. So I bought ParkerWaterSucks.com, and I had all the board members and their home addresses. I was outing people. What do they call that? What do they call that when you...
Doxing.
I was doxing people, in the late 90s.
See, Mark's proud of all that.
I am. You know what? All those fines got taken care of. They were gone, brother.
Anyway, let's talk about this. What are the comparisons we're getting today right after this? I want to know, because we're doing an insurance checkup, and I always love hearing about how people are paying and what they're paying for, and how Compass Insurance Group made the difference with the insurance checkup after this.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Michael Brown in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's Classic Hamburgers.
Lots of anxious driving throughout the Denver metro in anticipation of that wintry weather. I-25 northbound showing speeds in the 30s and 40s between Alameda and Colfax. Southbound I-25 slow between I-76 and Spear. I-270 eastbound, some usual Commerce City heavy traffic between I-76 and Vasquez. If you're heading to DIA, I-70 eastbound, stop and go starts at Havana to about Pena Boulevard. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, gray skies today. It's a pinpoint weather alert day, high 50. Scattered showers throughout the Front Range, turning to snow throughout the Denver metro around 6 p.m. this evening, lasting through the night and into Friday. We're seeing about 6 to 10 inches before Friday's over. The current temperature in Denver is 48 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
This March at Wendy's, get a Dave's single for $1 or Dave's double for just $2 with the in-app offer. Limited time offer at participating U.S. Wendy's. Redeem in Wendy's app. Account registration required. See offer in Wendy's app for details.
Red Rocks Roof and Solar, that's redrocksrs.com for more information. They do solar from the ground up. They'll take it and do the sales, the installation, and the service, and they'll help you with everything from the tax credits to loans, even grants for big commercial outfits. You know, some commercial outfits are managed to put on extra panels and sell back to the grid and make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Red Rocks knows how to do it. Of course, they can do residential systems, off-grid systems for your hunting cabins, whatever you want. redrocksrs.com. You've heard me talk about Genesis. Why? Because we love Genesis TotalExteriors.com. I remember when I first met Mark Szymanski many years ago, and he told me Genesis, because I do it from beginning to end, and I believe in full service. Now, they do all of your exterior work. Genesis TotalExteriors.com. And of course, they do other home improvements as well. All of your storm damage can be put on one invoice, or you just may want to do some, renovations to your home. It's someone I know and trust, and you can too. 303-679-8509.
Bell and Pollock.
What about him?
The driver gets out and they say, I'm sorry. Gee, I'm sorry, I don't have any insurance. Or worse yet, they give you an insurance card and you call and it's expired. And there's no insurance, but you have lost wages, you have injuries, you have medical bills piling up. What are you going to do? What can you do? And I'll tell you what.
I'm sorry.
What?
He's making fun of the spot that's on right now.
Because when you do this and the other driver has no insurance or not enough insurance, you're still protected. If you have any questions, call us. Bell and Pollock will help you.
Get more information or help from Bell and Pollock at championsofthepeople.com. You wouldn't know it, but most financial advisors are put in a box. I'm Jeff Jr. from Fraser Wealth, and I want to provide you a little insight about financial advisors. Most financial advisors have to sell what their company requires them to sell, and many advisors have to only adhere to what's called a suitability standard. A suitability standard is a limited standard of care, not requiring what's sold to be best, just suitable. Advisors with this new standard often have limited investment and product selection. Fraser Wealth is helping.
Suzanne, I sent you I ordered that blow dryer, but I got a different one. I sent you a link to the one I got. It's better. Way better. And it's less money. You know, they got, Tom, they've got hair dryers on Temu for $19 that are just as good as the Dyson.
Really? Do you think so? Come on.
Hell yeah. They look like a Dyson. And you know Temu in Chinese means quality. I could either get Suzanne one hair dryer, or she could have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 hair dryers for the same price. I mean, what do you say?
Mark.
Yes.
You know, it's just a matter of time that Temu's going to get banned right after TikTok.
I love Temu. I told you. What does Temu mean in Chinese?
Quality.
Quality.
Does it really?
I don't know. He just said that, though.
Oh, he doesn't know shit.
If I say it, it's true. Just read my blog.
With which one? The water one?
Yeah. I was so pissed at them. You cannot even. I owned an internet company at the time, so I didn't, websites were free.
Yeah. Did you get anything out of that? Did they end up doing anything?
Yeah, they dropped everything. So there's a lot more to it. It's not like I was just watering randomly when you weren't supposed to. I had new sod come in, and I had to water it. It was brand new sod that was put down. And they said, oh, well, you're supposed to call up and do all this other crap.
630 KHOW, an iHeartRadio station.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. Here to help you any way we can. Brian, we're doing the insurance checkup. And also I didn't forget we were going to go through HO terms. First, let's get a couple comparisons. People called in with their Dex page. And what did you find, and what were you able to do?
Well, I just have had a few sent over to me from the agents, and here's one of them. The customer with Farmers paying $4,500 on the auto, $4,375 on the home. But when he actually looked at the deck page, the home was underinsured by $200,000.
Oh my
God!
And also, they're paying $9,000 a year on this.
Yeah, for the auto and home, they're paying $88.75 exactly, almost $9,000. He has shopped them and found a quote with Safeco where he increased the dwelling by $200,000, and between the auto and home saved them $1,744 a year.
Can you believe that? Not only did you save that much money, but you gave them better coverage.
Now, to be completely transparent, their new home premium is higher than what they were paying before, but the auto was saving that much. So between the two,
right, they're saving
still
money.
Saved money.
And
yeah.
Besides, the previous premium on their home wasn't accurate.
No, well, it was underinsured. If he had a loss, they would not be able to rebuild the house. They would be out of luck, which is, we find that all the time. People are underinsured on their home. The other one I just wanted to mention to you, we've had 3 so far today State Farm customers that are being non-renewed. 2 of them because of claims. They each had a claim this past year, so State Farm's non-renewing them. And the other one is because of the fire risk. They're in Evergreen, and they are non-renewing them. And all 3 of them are listeners of yours and are really frustrated because they've all been with State Farm 20-plus years.
I think it's a blessing they're not renewed by State Farm.
Yeah, but, people just have in their mind, I've been there 20 years, they're going to keep me forever. And
in fact, the more that you have it, the less you're rewarded. Yep. Kevin, your turn. What's going on, Kevin?
Tom,
yes, sir.
I need some advice. I need you to recommend somebody off your referral list for me that can do some carpentry work. I've got a front door that's got a problem. I live in a condo, and my situation is I'm almost completely blind, so for me to go on the internet and look on your referral list is just about impossible.
So you really just need a handyman. You just need to adjust your front door. Is that it?
Well, yeah, the front door is starting to drag, and the condo unit I live in, I live on the ground floor, and apparently the foundation for this building is kind of moving, and so it's causing problems with the door frame and the door. So I need somebody that knows about front door.
What area are you in?
Oh, I live in the western part of Centennial. Used to be Littleton.
Okay, so other than your front door, what else?
Oh, that's really the only thing.
That's
Handyman
easy.
Hub.
That's easy. Handyman Hub can handle that. They're good people. Do you want to do you want to take down the number right this minute?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I've got a pencil right here. I'm going to write it down as soon as you give it to me.
Now, out of curiosity, you said you're blind.
I was going to ask that same question,
How is that
but
pencil helping you? I'm just curious, man.
Well, I have a tiny bit of eyesight left, but, you know, if I write with like a magic marker and something dark, I can manage to see it with a magnifier.
So Handyman Hub, here it is. 303 427 2955.
Okay. Okay, great.
Let us know how that works out for you, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tom.
And I mean that. I'm not just saying that. I mean
Hey,
that. I
hey,
wanna
where's
know
my
every bit
thank
of it.
you?
What's that, Mark?
He thanked you, but I'm the one that said Handyman Hub.
Oh, thank you very much, Mark.
You're welcome.
Yeah. His ego needs stroking because, never mind.
Or I'll put you on my blog.
Yeah, Mark's going to start a blog, TomMartino.com, except I already got that to protect myself. Anyway, 303-713-TALK. And by the way, speaking of URLs, you almost have to buy URLs nowadays for safety. I don't know if you did, but every
I
time
own my name, yes.
I got my name, my kids' names.
Hey, how about that new one I got? Wow, is that a good one that was still available?
Yeah. There are still some good ones available, although it's amazing. I'm trying to find a name for a piece of technology I have that I'll be launching, you know, that investing thing, Mark. I'm going to tell you something. So I look at company names, you know, AI names, company names, software names, program names, app names. Okay. This is just a side note. This is amazing. And I see a lot of them are weird names, right? And I think, are they made up words? Many of them are not. Many of them are either Latin, Greek, Sanskrit, believe it or not, an ancient language, or some of them are combinations of those, and Norse folklore and all of that. And almost every single name that is short and easy to pronounce and rolls off the tongue, it absolutely, positively has been taken for something. Now, there's something called brand confusion. So let's say I want to give this name something for my financial company, and the other company is Clean Sewers. You can do that, right? You can do that. There's no brand confusion. But in most cases, guess who's taken these names, Mark? Guess who's taken them all? AI companies. .ai. There are more. You see, we just know about the big players, the Googles and the AI, the Open AI and all of those. But what we don't realize is I counted, at least in my search for names, 1,000 AI chatbots. Do you know that? 1,000? 1,000. 1,000. And there's probably more. And they all have names. So I am always fascinated when people can find a unique name.
How about this? Ready? Tot dollar.
Tot dollar.
That means many dollars in Latin. When you said Latin,
I'll bet you it's taken.
It's there. I'm looking at it. Tot dollar.
Yeah, but I don't like the way it sounds. Tot dollar. But Mark, you're right on the vein that I was doing, by the way, with the Latin and and I went to Chat AI, you know, a Chat GPT, you know, and I asked it, come up with Norse names for this or Latin names for this or a Sanskrit. Sanskrit's very interesting. A lot of companies base their names on Sanskrit.
I don't even know what that actually is. I've heard it, of course.
Just an ancient language. That's all. I mean, it's just a.
I mean, was it Christianity?
No, I don't think so. Christianity was mostly Greek, and
No, it was one of the first civilizations.
I heard
way
Doc,
back in
he
the,
learned it in school.
No, yeah, well, Tom was back there. It was in the Fertile Triangle by Mesopotamia, where Sanskrit originated. It was even pre-Egyptian.
God.
And Egyptian is another cool language. A lot of these things, some of them take Chinese names, but any existing name, like, if you wanted to like take tsunami or you want to take something that's just cool sounding, it's all used. I mean, it's amazing how much is taken. Intellectual property right now must be very difficult because if there's no brand confusion, you can have different companies using stuff. For example, BlackRock Financial, which is somebody that I researched a lot, they have their evaluator of companies called Aladdin. And that's pretty damn cool, right? But Aladdin is so common. It's a genie, right? And Aladdin is used 1,000 times. But for them, it's their evaluator. And that's a fascinating company. BlackRock was the first one to really aggregate gather all of the companies together and give them ratings. And those ratings proved to be accurate when it comes to investing. Then he went one step further. This is an amazing story. He went one step further and then started social engineering. And what they did was when they liked companies for their agenda, they have a social and political agenda. The ESG thing, they're a big believer of that. So if a company is not big into ESG, the environment, and I forget what it stands for, what they do is they give them a lower rating than the ones who are ESG compliant. And that has severely impacted the capital they raise and investment money. So by doing that, no laws had to be changed, nothing had to be regulated, but companies voluntarily have been doing the ESG thing. And now the same thing is happening with DEI, diversion, equity, and inclusion.
There's been a lot of lawsuits, though, because, I mean, to the stockholders, the number one thing they're supposed to do is make you money.
That's right, Mark. You're absolutely right. However, forever there's been conscientious investing. I mean, I remember socially conscious funds when I was investing with an advisor, and I would tell her specifically, I want none of this or none of that. No animal testing, nothing, certain things I didn't want back then. And I would not allow my money to be invested in that thing. So that's just an extension of that. It's just that people have gotten crazy. But here's why. I often wondered, why are corporations, why are they taking woke agendas and appealing to that in advertising and in employment and all of that? And again, there's nothing wrong with diversity, equity, and inclusion. The principle is wonderful. But what I'm saying is, but then they go a step further. Like, for example, why are they taking social and political stands when Mark said accurately, I invest my money to make money. I don't care what you think. And by the way, who is you? You is a corporation. You are people. You are stockholders. You can't possibly speak for each and every stockholder. Do you speak for the board of directors? Are you basically saying then that that's the only kind of stockholder you want? So the whole woke thing is crazy when you try to make it applicable to a corporation. But the reason they're doing it is because of Aladdin, because they're going to get poorer ratings if they don't. So they're trying to please that master. You would be shocked at the power that Blackwater has. It's an amazing, the largest fund in the entire world. And that's one of the reasons. So we got more coming up.
By the way, Aladdin was the kid.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
Lots of busy spots all throughout the Denver Metro before we hit the 1 p.m. hour. I-25 northbound. Some road work through the Denver Tech Center has slow driving between Orchard Road in Hampton. Southbound I-25, some stop and go between University and Hampton. North of there, heading to DIA, I-70 eastbound. Slow driving starts at Havana for folks heading to DIA all the way to about Pena Boulevard. Further north, Northwest Parkway westbound, an accident at Lowell Boulevard. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, starting to see that rain return throughout the Denver metro around 6 p.m., turning to snow all throughout Thursday night into Friday. We're expecting 6 to 10 inches. The current temperature is 48 degrees with your impact traffic and weather. Mark Swan at 630 K-House.
Every day, a child in poverty waits for a sponsor is another day of hopelessness. There are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
The Art of Granite, they do countertops the right way, and not only granite, although the name says the Art of Granite, they do any natural stone, any man-made material, and here's how they do it. Wholesale on all materials, tear out and haul aways free, and get this, if you do the kitchen, they'll do one bathroom free. What you need to do is call them for a price. Yes, they will give prices on the phone because they're proud of what they do. This is what I love about the Art of Granite and Mitch Floria. Give them a call, 303-386-5919, 303-386-5919, theartofgranite.com. Euro Plumbing Colorado, what do I love about them? They are the most inexpensive. You'll get the best deals. That's all I want to say on anything plumbing. That water heater starting at $12.99 for a 40-gallon, $13.99 for a 40-gallon, $14.99 for a 50-gallon. Do you hear that? No one can come close to those prices. If you want a sump pump garbage disposal, they can do that too. Toilet repairs, do that too. EuroPlumbingColorado.net. Joe Lazara is a criminal defense attorney. Here's how you spell the name. Because everyone always asks when you talk about Joe, what's his name? It's Lazzara. Lazzara. That's Joe Lazara. Find him at referralist.com. Flat rate pricing on all defense for any kind of accusations, charges, including DUI. And here's the deal. You can get an initial consultation free where he quotes the flat rate. That's Joe Lazara. Don't ever try to represent yourself on anything, even if you want to plead guilty. 303-429-6200, 429-6200. FixMyHome.com. Right now, an extraordinary deal on the air conditioning tune-up and extreme clean. You will never do a price better than this. First of all, they spend about 2 hours, sometimes more, sometimes a little less, but they go through the entire system. The only company I know that truly removes the dirt, grease, and grime and checks out the entire AC for it's usually $39, which is a screaming deal. But now, for March Madness, they're doing it for $24.07. I swear to you, $24.07. You will never see service like this. But here's the caveat. New customers only. Sorry. And that's fixmyhome.com.
Address, but we'll wait till we're on air or off air.
Yeah.
That's a perfect size screen, too. It's nice and big, but it's not stupid. It's 15.6. I can't get over how cheap these things have gotten for what you get. It's
What's that?
crazy. Just how inexpensive they are. It's just crazy.
10 seconds here, guys.
Conway.
Just wait until you hear the long list of bills the Legislature is voting on this week that will kill jobs in the state of Colorado. It's wild. 630 KHOW, Denver's talk station.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. All right, so now, Brian, we have another hour to go, by the way, and we're still taking, and as I said, the insurance checkup, 303-996-9000. That's 996-9000. And also, we're going to take your calls on problems, questions, and complaints of any kind if you need consumer help. But let's talk about the HOs. Now, I never knew what that meant, but homeowners insurance, go through them. Why are they designated as HO? Obviously, that's for homeowners insurance. But what do the numbers mean? Can we go through them?
Yeah, and I don't want to bore everybody.
No, but let's do it. I think it's educational. Go ahead.
It goes from 1 to 8.
What's HO1?
1 is something you would never run into.
What
it's
is
a
it?
very limited type of homeowner policy. It has basic perils covered. No one writes it anymore. It's a really antiquated type
It's
of homeowner
the most
policy.
basic. Got it.
Yep.
What else?
2 is one step up from that. Again, nothing you're going to see. I don't know anybody that writes an HO2. The most common is HO3. That's going to be your homeowner's policy where it's...
Do I have an HO3?
You have an HO5.
Okay, so let's go. Why is HO3 most common? What does it cover?
HO3 is open perils, meaning that everything is covered except for what's excluded for the dwelling, but the personal property is named perils. It's not open perils. It's named perils. It names what is covered on the homeowner policy for damages caused to the personal property.
So that's HO1?
That's HO3. Yeah.
3. HO1, 2, and 3 so far.
Right.
Okay, we're going to go over HO4, and how far does it go up?
8. But really the only other ones you're going to run into is 4, 5, 6.
No, I want to know about those coming up. I'm Tom Martino, 303-713-8255.
Fraudulent tax.
I shouldn't have a problem setting it up.
Is that the health exchange?
Tom, you got my note. I'm going to have to leave about 1:30.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
That's
I
why I
just want
wanted
to make
to
sure
go
you
through
knew that.
Okay, we can ask Tom about it. What's your name, please?
And
If
why
I'm
is
thinking
it
of buying a
named perils
car,
on personal
would you
property?
go through JR or
That's
go
just how
through you?
HO3 policies are written.
So
Okay, I'm probably going to get either a
Here's the problem.
covered for the house.
Yeah, here's
a
what's the problem
Hyundai
with named
or
perils versus
Toyota
open perils.
hybrid.
It's hard for me to tell you other than the fact that
Yeah.
I have, like,
I don't want a
okay,
full electric.
like Mark's policy.
But you want,
let's say, that
you
water
want
loss
all-wheel
that they
drive, don't you?
excluded for flooding.
Oh, yeah, that's why I see which one of those
There
models.
is an
There
there
is the
is,
four-wheel or
a
all-wheel.
exclusion
Let me look
if
at the Hondas
snow
now.
piles
I'm
up
not-
and melts and does water damage, but they did not have an exclusion for hail.
You like that size of
Yeah,
the
it's open
last one,
perils.
right?
Yeah, sort of a
Since they
middle.
didn't
I don't
have
want a big
exclusion,
SUV,
they
You don't
but
want it
that
tiny.
claim. That's what it
just a
ended up
middle
passing.
SUV.
That's a 5 because it's
Which
open
is smaller,
perils.
the
If it
Santa
was
Fe
an
or the
HO3,
Tucson?
there's not going to be a
you
named
don't want
peril
to.
that says
No,
we'll
yeah,
cover
it's
you
too
if
big.
hail melts and does damage. It was just a
Now, you want
script. They did
plug
not
it
have
with
an
the
exclusion.
three,
Yeah,
have to name
yeah.
the peril.
Well,
for
isn't
personal
that what
property.
they,
Now, it would have been
what's that
covered
for that
underneath
regular
the
hybrid
home,
plug-in?
same thing.
So
The
a
dwelling
plug-in's
is still
generally got a
open
little
perils,
bigger
but it's
battery.
the personal
Yeah.
property.
And
So
then,
in Mark's case,
of course,
maybe
when
it
it's
wouldn't
plugged
matter
in, your
unless there was
electricity
damage
is
to a
charging
couch
it.
or
Right.
something else.
A regular hybrid,
But that's why open
like the
perils is
Prius,
better
you don't
That's
plug
number
in.
3. Number 4.
The engine is constantly
Right.
charging the battery.
Which you think
just
is better?
4 is running.
I wouldn't pay the extra
Okay, and
money
then
for
what's
the plug-in.
5?
I think,
Is
well, here,
open
give you
perils
an
for
idea.
the dwelling
And
and,
that's
So
personal
a
property.
Tucson,
You have
that's
that.
all we're talking about.
Yeah.
A regular hybrid is 32.
We don't have to go in the
And
weeds
a
this much, but just so
plug-in
you know, if you
is
have an
39.
HO3,
Wow.
there's a way
Yeah,
to
it's
add an endorsement
it's a big
called
difference.
Special
Yeah.
personal property,
Let me see what the miles per
which
gallon,
makes personal property
or, you know,
open
the
perils.
guesstimate is.
What makes it an HO5? It's still called an HO3 with special personal
Let's
property,
see.
but it's
So,
the exact
the
same
regular
thing as an HO5.
is 38
It doesn't.
mpg.
Some companies just don't offer an HO5, but
good
you
looking.
can make it
What's
an
HO6?
HO6
So
is a
this
condo.
is 38 mpg.
Okay.
Yep.
And okay, and then
And that's the regular
but
hybrid.
that doesn't have external
And then-
coverage.
Right. I mean, exactly. It's for
Plug-in
the walls in, basically, is what that's meant
Is-
for.
Look,
And what
it's
is the
even less,
7?
33.
It's for mobile homes.
No, that's
It's a
electric.
mobile home type of policy.
Combined
for
35.
manufactured home.
Even less.
It's even less. I don't know why anybody. I don't know why you would do that.
What's 8?
And then just
8
the
you're never
electric,
gonna
the
hardly
range
run
is
into,
only
but it's for
33
really
miles.
old properties like
that's why I
historic
don't want to
properties that
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know why they
would
sell
cost
that, to
more
be
to
quite
rebuild
honest. And I don't
than
understand
they're
why
really
it's
worth.
Okay.
And so
$7
it's
grand
like an
more.
actual cash policy on there.
That's a good looking
on-
vehicle.
on
I
it.
didn't realize their new ones looked that good. Let me see something.
What's the Honda?
Do you
A
care
lot
if
of
it was?
museums, like big houses, would they have?
Hold on one second.
No, because it would be a commercial policy. HO8, I've never written one.
you're
I don't
right.
even know anybody that writes an HO8, but that's technically, if you're going through like and getting licensed, you'll learn what an HO8 is.
Shop new.
We could always call them, right?
Yeah, but they have all their inventory right here. I'm just curious if they have. Here's the filter. TUS Tucson. On the lot. No, Paul, they have a 24.
I don't care about the color. That's the last thing in the world.
So they're all coming in around 33.
That's for the 24s.
Yeah, that's the 24. They don't have any 23s. But let me see if McDonald does. No, that's a
Where do I have
Yeah,
to
but
go to
that's
see the
all
solar
of them.
eclipse this year?
not just Tucson. So now we want.
I went last time. I didn't
Oh,
know
they
they
do
were
have a
so
Tucson.
one so close. I thought it was a once in a lifetime thing. That's what I was told.
I always get confused with these eclipses. Some of them they say is once in a lifetime. Some are like every
That's not that's
certain
not
number of
SUV.
years.
No, you don't want that.
Right.
If it was all-wheel drive. Let me see how much they want for that Santa Fe. Oh, it's not a hybrid. So it looks like you're gonna end up with a 24. And how about amenity-wise? What do you want on it? Do you give a shit?
Just, really basic stuff.
Well, basic now is pretty
Right.
crazy.
This says there's between 2 and 5 solar eclipses every year.
I know. I didn't know that.
That's probably not on the hybrid. Tucson hybrid. So 33, what are these called? Okay, limited. So limited is like fully loaded.
Mm-hmm.
And
But those could be partial eclipses.
So you're at like, let's just say 38 for sake of argument. You're 38 on those, and then you're on a regular one.
Are you saying April 8th? Is that when you're talking about it? Total solar eclipse on April 8th, 2024?
Yeah, you should have the backup
Yeah.
camera.
Where is that?
I mean, most of that shit, I think you have to have.
10 seconds, guys.
And, okay, so we know around 33, and then let's see what
List of bills the Legislature is voting on this week that will kill jobs in the state of Colorado. It's wild. 630 KHOW, Denver's talk station.
Yeah. can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. As we do every day, we try to help people. We try to recover cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, and services. Over the years, hundreds of millions of dollars for people. Kent wants to talk about 1031 tax-free exchanges. Whatever you want to talk about, give us a call. We love helping you. So if you want to call, it's 303-713-TALK. You can also call 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466. What's going on, Kent?
Well, I'm wondering, is it possible to do a 1031 exchange without a qualified intermediary?
Yes, of course. Well, no, wait. No, you have to have a disinterested third party. I'm sorry. You have to have that.
So I think I read that they're not licensed and there's not any real regulation on them. How do you keep from
That's right. They're not
getting in a bad situation?
Okay. How do I put this? Well, you don't. You know, technically what you're doing is you're letting that third party, if you want to buy something that the other party's interested in and trade it, you need a third party to do it. The answer is, how do you do it? For example, let me, for people listening, a 1031 exchange simply delays or defers your gain into a like property, so you don't have to pay tax on it. So if you simply had an apartment house,
You defer taxes.
yeah. I'm sorry, that's what I meant. Well, defers the gain, which is which is taxed. So what you do is you take if you wanted to buy an apartment house and you have an apartment house, you have to buy an apartment house that's more expensive, and then that apartment house becomes your old basis is put into that one, and that apartment house becomes that much more of a basis for when you sell. But in any case, in order to do that, you would have to find it without a qualified intermediary. You could do it, but you would have to find someone who wants to trade you straight across. So if you want, you could do that, right? So, but most of the time, that's not the way it is. Most of the time, you want to trade something they don't want. So you have to find someone else who wants to trade that for something else that other person wants. You have to, it's really juggling, and that's where the intermediary comes in. And as far as I know, there is no regulation. But there have been people, just like anything, just like how do you find a qualified attorney? How do you find that that's basically, you're asking the same question. But attorneys are regulated. I see what you're saying. They are regulated, so you know you're getting someone who's been trained. I don't know the answer other than reputation.
Have you done any of them yourself?
Yeah, I have.
And did you use somebody local or some?
Yeah, I used somebody local. Yes, I did. Now I've had it happen both ways. I've had it happen where I used a qualified mediary, to, whatever you call them, anyway, intermediary, to do an exchange for something I wanted. Then I had somebody approach me, and they were from Canada, and they used one to buy something from me. It didn't affect me at all. I got ultimately what I wanted, but I had to go into that intermediary first, and then that's how it they're not that complicated, but they can be. What do you have exactly? Let's talk about that.
I have a townhouse that I want to sell and buy another property on the western slope.
Okay, so what do you have here? What is it worth?
A townhouse, probably 400.
Is it a residence?
Yes.
Yours?
Yes.
Well, you can't do that.
Well, it's an investment property.
Is it
an investment property?
It's an investment property.
A rental, and I'm going to.
Oh, okay. That's what I wanted to know. It's a rental property, and you want to trade it for another rental property
on the western slope.
Right, and that one on the western slope. Are you going to live in it, or is it going to be a rental property?
Well, it'll certainly be a rental for 2 years because you have to.
That's right. That's what I was going to say. If ultimately you want to live in it, that's fine, but you have to do you have to do the 1031 exchange like for like in the beginning. So
I guess, and the other thing I was wondering is if there's somebody, if you know of people here in Colorado doing it. I look online and all you get is, people in national numbers.
I don't personally know anyone right now. I used to know someone who did them for me. He was really good at it. He was an attorney. First and foremost, I would get an attorney. Let's put it that way. Okay? You know what? Let's ask Brad O'Brien if he knows it or if he does them. Okay? He's an attorney we use as our real estate expert. So let's call and ask him about 1031 exchanges.
And I also was wondering what kind of cost how much should it cost?
Well, I mean, that's all negotiable, but as I remember it, it wasn't that expensive. I mean, they charge a fee, but it's like it's less than a real estate commission, but it is a fee based on the value.
Okay.
It's not a flat fee as I remember. Again, I haven't done it in so many years. But I want someone are there any qualified intermediaries that you came across in Denver?
No.
You have not come across one?
Well, I haven't looked terribly hard. You're kind of easy to go to,
No, I know that. So I'll tell you what. First, let's start with our attorney, and then let's find out. I believe some CPAs do it as well.
Okay.
And if that's the case, you're protected. See, because while to be an intermediary, you don't have to pass a test to do anything. But if they're already a qualified professional, like an attorney or, an accountant, a CPA that is, that wouldn't be a bad deal. That wouldn't be a bad deal. Now, these 1031s I'm finding right here, oh, no, you're right. They're long-distance calls. You're right. And they're not really local. They're not. They say they are. They call themselves a local name, even like 1031 Exchange Colorado. But when you drill down, it's not Colorado.
Correct.
I did find one that's called, and title companies sometimes do it too,
Ah, yeah.
So hold on a second. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to call Brad O'Brien, O'Brien Legal Services. I also want to call Atlas CPAs and Financial Advisors. They are my accountants and they are experts here on the show. And let's ask them if they know of any or if they do it. So hang on. So we got our work cut out.
I found a big one.
What's that, Mark?
I found a big one, 1031X. .com that's right in Denver, and they've got like 300 4-star reviews.
Yeah, 1031, I saw that, 1031X, and is it 1031X.com?
Yeah, and they're right on Hamden Avenue, and I mean, they just got 100% 5 stars in a lot of them.
I wonder Mark, can you call them to see if you can get them on the air?
Yeah, I'll give them a shot right now.
During the break, let's do that. Let's just go right to them and ask them about what they do and how they do it. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. More right after this.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you still on the fence about owning gold? It's time to pull the trigger with the Oxford Gold Group and buy gold and silver. Nobody can predict the future, but we can't put our head in the sand either. The Oxford Gold Group are the pros. They make owning gold and silver simple and easy to understand.
We got 10 seconds here, Tom, and Joe is on the line ready for you.
Up to $10,000 in free precious metals. Call 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD.
So who can benefit from a fixed indexed annuity? Someone that I know and trust that I go to for advice, certified financial advisor, Joe Ciano. Let's just ask you that question straight up. And he's at mymoneymyway.com, 303-779-6600. Who benefits from a fixed indexed annuity?
Well, you know about Tom? People that really want to have risk-free retirement. That's the bottom line. The fixed index annuity could benefit people that may have a 401k or an IRA or even an investment account in the stock market, and they're tired of playing the game of going up and down. So the fixed indexed account that we have, the annuity that we have, will offer guarantees not to lose your money. It will give a 15% bonus. People get a lifetime income guaranteed. Think about that, a guaranteed lifetime income and long-term care as well, with no risk at all of losing their principal, their gains, or their bonus.
And Joe, when you talk about these annuities, what amounts? People want to know, how much do they need to start?
With our company, we cater to every socioeconomic, population, meaning that if somebody has $10,000, that's the minimum, they can open up an annuity with us. We have people that have $1 million, so it doesn't matter. I know there's a lot of financial planners that they have a minimum of at least maybe $500,000 or $200,000. We don't operate like that. Somebody that has $10,000, we can help. Somebody that has $1 million or more, we can help. So anybody can qualify for that.
And the more in, the more out, of course, but it's all guaranteed. That's the whole point. It's all proportional and guaranteed. That's mymoneymyway.com, 303-779-6600. Genesis, you heard me talk about GenesisTotalExteriors.com, and I'll concentrate now on them being the stucco experts. If you have storm damage and you're going to do siding on your house and replace that, why don't you just do a small upcharge and go with some stucco, genuine stucco. They're stucco experts at GenesisTotalExteriors.com. And of course, as you heard, they also do a cementuous siding, cheaper than those other brand names and just as hardy. So GenesisTotalExteriors.com for all your storm damage or home renovations. K&H Home Solutions now is doing bathroom remodels. Of course, they do window siding, doors, and more as well, and I've known them for many years. The oldest home improvement company in all of Colorado, 65 years strong. Now, get them in for your bath remodel. They love sitting down and going over all of your options for beautiful bathrooms with energy efficiency and, of course, with a value. That's important. K&H Home Solutions can be reached at khwindows.com, 303-421-7100, 421-7100. And if you want to throw in floor coverings for that beautiful renovation of any kind, you can do that with simplyfloorsinc.com. I've known Buddy and Karen Mitchell for many years. Here's what they do. They make the experience pleasant by helping you from beginning to end. That is, in the selection of the proper stuff, buying it at the best price, and then getting the best installers in the business, all while dealing with one source, simplyfloorsinc.com. Multiple locations, but you can find out about those on the website, along with making your own appointment for in-home or at the store. That's Simply Floors Inc., I-N-C, simplyfloorsinc.com. So you got to leave in a few minutes, I get it.
Yeah, I'll just go till your next break. No.
Okay, let's get that 1040X people on then, if Brad knows nothing about them.
I should know pretty soon.
Thanks.
What? Hey, where's our, who's in there, Dragon?
Yo.
God, I can barely see in that thing. Question.
Yeah.
So the monitor always has AM, always has whatever's going out over the air, where if I go offline, of course, I have what we have now. Is it possible to have the monitor actually do that as well or no? Did that make sense?
Say that one more time.
So you know the monitor up here. If I turn it up right now.
The speakers.
The speakers, yes. The speakers are playing whatever's on the air. Is it possible for the speakers to play what I hear in my headphones?
Speakers play whatever's getting programmed over the air, yeah.
Okay.
It's
just the way it is.
So to get whatever's going over the air on your headphones.
No. I'm saying offline. When I hit offline like we're talking right now, how do I get that through the speakers or you don't?
You don't.
Got it.
That would be a Dominic thing. He'd have to rewire some shit.
Got it.
Ten seconds, guys.
Your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Denver's talk station. Online at khout.com.
I'm Tom Martino, and we are going to get someone on to talk about 1031 exchange, Ken, if all goes well, so hang on. But I will just want to briefly explain this, okay? And here's how they work. You find an investment property you want to buy. In this case, you want to buy a single-family home or a townhome that you want to rent out. You find that property, okay? Or you don't have to find it first. You want to sell yours. You sell yours. That money that you make on it, you do not take possession of it. It goes to a qualified intermediary. That intermediary holds that money, and then you have about 45 days to identify another property. Then, within 45 days, you identify that property, and that replacement property is purchased by the qualified intermediary by transferring the proceeds to that other property. And then the end result is you end up with the property you want, but you've actually traded it, kind of. It's weird, but they allow it. You know, since the net result is exactly the same as just selling it, they should really let people sell it, take the money, and if you buy something else within 45 days, call it an exchange. There's no difference except they're making you find someone and pay them money. I don't even understand why they make you go through it. Because having that qualified intermediary, if you didn't identify a property and all that, they're saying you'd end up losing it. So by using a qualified intermediary, they're forcing you to do it. Whereas I think, what would be wrong with giving someone the choice? You can sell your property. If you find a like property within 45 days, call it good. If you don't, you pay tax.
So,
I don't see
doesn't,
why they go through the conniptions of finding of needing an intermediary. I've never understood that. Okay, by the way, an HOA 1 is most basic. They don't even sell them anymore, just basic perils. HOA 2 is just the next basic. What is most common is an HOA 3 and an HO3. An HO3 is open except for exclusions, open peril with specific exclusions, and then on personal property, the named perils have to be shown for the personal property. HO4 renters, HO5 is common for open perils on both property and house.
And the dwelling. So the dwelling and personal property are both open perils. Yep.
Okay, then
that's the best policy available for homeowners.
Okay. Then HO6 is for condos.
Yep.
HO7 manufactured homes. Do you write
mobile homes?
Do you write those?
Not very common, but we have some.
And HO8 is when you live in a historic property where it's impractical to rebuild. It would cost more than you would insure it for and more than the property. So you kind of get an actual cash value policy.
That's it. Yep.
And those are those. And then keep the calls coming for the insurance checkups. Do you have any more examples before you leave?
Yep.
He has to leave early. Go ahead.
Yep. There's one here that came in. It's a current customer with Allstate. Again, he was telling us what he had, but then we had him send over the declaration page, found out he actually has actual cash value on his roof. He had no idea.
So what that means is whatever the roof is worth at the time it's destroyed, that's the only amount he gets.
Yeah, I know it's a 12-year-old roof, so he would be responsible for almost half the cost of a new roof. And then his deductible is applied. So that's the starting point is half and then subject to his deductible.
So he only gets half coverage minus his deductible.
That's right. So once we were able to explain that to him, he said he would rather have replacement cost. And so we found an option with a company called Acuity for auto and home. It has a $2,500 deductible is what he had chosen to go with. And it saved him $1,000 between his auto and home a year.
That is really incredible.
But where it really comes into play is if and when he has a claim, he'll be saving about $15,000 because of that, the fact that it's not actual cash value anymore.
Can I ask a simple question? Why are you able to save money most of the time for people? Why is it?
Well, I'm giving you the examples where we did save money. There's times where the people will call and we'll tell them, you know what you got is good. But even on situations like this, we don't always save money whenever we're able to do that, but we're able to tell them, hey, you have actual cash value on the roof. So is that what you want? Do you know what you have? And more times than not, they have no clue, and they're willing to spend more if they can get better coverage. So we at least give them the option. We try to explain what they have, and if they're happy with what they have, we can quote it around that way. And if we save them money, great. If we don't, we'll tell them.
All right, someone else wants to know, what's considered a vicious dog, or why are some dogs premiums? You pay more.
Yeah, and I will tell you, most carriers are going away from a dog list. It has always been that insurance companies have a list of dog breeds that they just won't insure. Pit bulls, Dobermans. These are, a couple examples. Akitas. These are examples of dogs that would be on that list. Most of them are now going to, if there's prior bite history, they won't take it. But they're going away from this list of dogs. There's still some that have list of dogs. But why? Because the statistical evidence is that those dogs bite, and not only do they bite, they cause more damage when they do bite.
Now, Dragon, don't hit the delay button. But what he's saying is there's no more Shih Tzu list. That was a joke. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I think we're going to have somebody coming on for the 1031 exchange, and I'll do it after the break to give people more time to talk about it. Because really, I often wondered about intermediaries and what are the consequences of a 1031 exchange? If you don't identify the property, can you just call it good and pay tax? Do you get your money back, or how that works? And how they base fees in the 1031 world. It really is a good question. So that's something we're going to talk about coming up. 303-713-8255. Want to tell you about something that I do that I'm proud of doing and I love doing, and that's Grossman Wellness Clinic. GrossmanWellness.com. The reason I go to Grossman is because I have every 3 months blood work and then a consultation and basically what amounts to an exam every 3 months. Nothing can really go wrong in 3 months. Not really that wrong, right? And then once a year, you have that full physical. All of this is covered by a low monthly fee of a few $100 a month, depending on your program. But that includes supplements, listen carefully, and most of your prescription drugs, and all of your blood work. If you do the math, it's a great option, even if you have insurance. I have insurance, but I do this as a self-pay. So for $249, you get to do it. $249, here's what you get to do. You get to find out if you're a candidate, or you get your blood work and all of that just for $249. You get your blood work and consultation, and that's Grossman Wellness, 303-233-4247. No obligation, $249 to find out, 233-4247.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Michael Brown tomorrow morning at 6:30 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's Classic Hamburgers.
Busy driving all throughout the Denver metro in anticipation for the evening's wintry weather. I-25 northbound into downtown. We're seeing speeds in the 30s and 40s between Alameda and Colfax. Southbound I-25 slow between I-70 and Spear, and further south between Broadway and University. Heading to DIA I-70 eastbound, stop-and-go traffic starts at about Central Park all the way to Pena Boulevard. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, scattered showers starting to crop back up throughout the Denver metro and beyond high 50. It's a pinpoint weather alert day. We're expecting that rain to turn to snow around 6 p.m. and accumulate through Thursday night into Friday. The current temperature in Denver is 48 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan at 6:30 KHOW.
This March at Wendy's, get a Dave single for $1 or Dave's double for just $2 with the in-app offer. Limited time offer at participating U.S. Wendy's. Redeem in Wendy's app. Account registration required. See offer in Wendy's app for details.
Hey, Made in the Shade will do your window coverings at a screaming deal. And here's why it's a screaming deal. Because you get the design helper free of charge, all of the measurements free of charge with no obligation. Once you decide to go through with the purchase, of course, with what the designer recommended and with the measurements, then the in-house installers come and install everything. You get warranties on the installation. You get warranties also on the product from the manufacturers, and it's all made in the shade. I urge you to do it with them because they'll try to meet any budget, and it's a one-stop shop for shades, blinds, any kind of window coverings, including shutters. denvershades.co, 720-458-6566. EuroPlumbingColorado.net. You want to talk deals in plumbing? Let's talk Euro Plumbing. The best deals in water heaters, the best deals in plumbing repairs, including toilets and garbage disposals and sump pumps. They love beating the competition. All you have to do is call like $14.99 for a 50-gallon tank fully installed. That's the old one taken out. A 40 gallons only $13.99. Call them. You'll be amazed. They want to be put to the test. EuroPlumbingColorado.net, 303-668-6844. And no one wants to call John Fuller. He is a personal injury attorney. So you don't want to be injured. But if you are, you'll be happy you have his number. You might want to put it away or recommend it to people because he's the only one that does business this way. He'll talk to each and every client before they take them on. There's no call centers. There's no intake committee. He decides, you decide if it's a good fit. Then he works on a contingency fee basis, and you get a cell phone number that you can call or text at any time. He is pledged only to take the number of cases that he works personally, and you will love the way he does it because you talk to him. Of course, he has a support staff, but it's all there for you and him. 303-597-4500. Notice the difference. 597-4500. myaccidentlawyer.co.
Tom, you see line 5,
yes,
right?
Sir. Well, I did.
Or 7.
Yeah. This is cool. This is really cool.
Okay, what's your name? All right, Stuart, hold on for me, and he will be with you as soon as possible, okay? Hang on. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling the Martino Show. We don't do off-air calls. We just do on-air calls. Okay. You can send him an email, and I can pass that along to help@troubleshooter.com. And leave your contact information, and I will go ahead and pass that along to him. Oh, I don't need to know. You can put that in your email. Yeah, yeah. I would go ahead and put a little synopsis of what you want to talk to him about, and like I said, I can forward that to him. Okay. Sure. Bye. I always get weirded out when somebody says, I'm best friends with Tom.
Sure you are.
You're best friends. Why don't you have his number? Why are you calling the radio show?
Because I don't want to feel special. I don't want to take my turn away from anybody else. 10 seconds.
Shut up. Oh, I'm
Before
okay.
one of the
Good.
greatest
Sorry.
pro-life leaders of all time, Abby Johnson, joins me, and we'll have the latest fallout after Ken Buck drops a political bomb on the GOP. Join me at 4.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. By the way, I want to mention that we do have an expert on for 1031s, and that's really cool because I used to do quite a bit of business with one, and I have not done that in a long time. So I'm glad to meet Sean Ross. He's with 1031x.com, 1031. They are located here in Denver. So Kent, you might not listen, and then I'll have you ask a question. But Sean, I want to ask you some basic questions first, real quick here.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you for being here, by the way, on short notice. On a 1031, I often wondered why. Let's just say I rent out a townhome and I want to buy another townhome and rent it out somewhere else. So I often wondered why I can't just sell that townhome and the government gives me 45 days to find another one. And if I do, then I can defer it. And if I don't, then I pay tax. Why do I have to have a qualified intermediary?
That's a good question, and the short answer is because they say you have to, but I guess a longer answer might be something like, in order to not recognize taxable income after the sale of a property, the IRS says you can't receive the money. So to not receive the money, you need some other entity in between to create legal distance between you and your sale, and you and the consequence of your sale, which is the receipt of the taxable proceeds. So the IRS says if you work with an intermediary, then we'll say, you know what, it's not really a sale. You're continuing your investment, and we won't consider you as having received any income.
Now, when you get those proceeds and it goes to you, the qualified intermediary, what I'd like to know is, what if I don't find a property in the allotted time? Do I lose that money, or do I simply pay tax on it and get the rest?
Good question. There's no penalty for starting an exchange and failing to complete it. In fact, the IRS would never even know. There's no way to report an incomplete exchange. So once the funds leave the closing table and go into the escrow account with your qualified intermediary, if you don't complete the 1031, you just get the money back as if you never tried, and you declare the income and pay taxes, again, as if you never tried.
Okay, so once the money is deposited with you, I've sold my townhome, you get the money, I find the next property. Does that property have to be more or less than my previous property?
It's a good question. It's a good idea for it to be as much or more, but it doesn't have to be. It's possible to complete a 1031 exchange into any type of real estate at any value. Just a question of how much tax deferral do you get. And if you want to defer all of the taxes that would have been due upon sale, you want to make sure the replacement property is worth at least as much as what you sold.
Oh, very interesting. So once I do this, though, and I sign up with you to do this, you don't actually take ownership of my townhome and sell it. I sell it. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right. And this can get a little bit confusing with the way the language reads when you sign a contract with your intermediary and the way it looks on the closing statement. But no, our job is not to take possession of any properties or to go find any properties for you or any other investor. Our job is just to make sure that when you do that, it's structured in a way that the IRS will view as valid. But everything otherwise is still taking place as if we weren't there.
Now, Sean, can you visit like property real quick?
Good.
Yeah, like kind is a pretty, I would say almost a misleading term, because a lot of people assume like kind means that it's used the same way or it's the same kind of structure. But really, like kind just means that it's used for business or investment purposes. So you could trade out of raw land into a skyscraper. You could change out of a single family to a multifamily. You could, I used to say you could trade out of oil and gas rights into Yankee Stadium if the math worked out.
Do you know,
right.
I never
So
knew that. That
of
is
real
really
estate.
good stuff, Sean. Next question about like. What about, do corporations ever trade aircraft or yachts or cars, anything like that?
Used to happen all the time, until 2017. In 2017, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act eliminated 1031 exchanges for everything other than real estate.
Oh.
Collectible art and cars used to be very common, but they're not exchangeable assets anymore, Tom.
Okay, that's okay. Great. Now, as far as the finding the like property, when I find it, does it ever turn off sellers because I'm coming to them with you?
Sometimes, yes. And this can get a little tricky because a lot of people assume introducing a 1031 means introducing either complexity or cost. And for the seller, if you're the buyer coming with your exchange funds, the 1031 has really no impact whatsoever on the seller, but they don't always know that. What we usually recommend people do is to not disclose that a 1031 is taking place until you get to the closing table, in which case our company will provide a note to the seller that says, by the way, this is an exchange, and it doesn't affect you in any way. Please sign here saying you acknowledge that. It's very common to have a notification sooner than that, but it's not required.
Okay, and then qualifications. That was his original call. Kent wanted to know, how the hell do I find an intermediary that I know is going to do the right thing? I mean, listen, you're not registered.
Let's talk fees real quick. How does it generally work?
We'll do that. I want to talk qualification. We will do that, Mark. Qualifications, Sean.
Yes.
Are you regulated?
Lightly, and this does vary state by state, even though it's a federal law, 1031 exchange. So after the 2008 crash, a couple of QIs went under, some very infamously, and some in Colorado. Some people ran off with client funds. It was a big scandal. But compared to most other financial intermediaries, 1031 exchange companies are very lightly regulated, and we're not licensed outside of the state of Nevada. So instead, what you have to rely on are things like recommendations, Better Business Bureau, are they a member of any professional associations, who do they bank with, what guarantees do you have, are they bonded or insured? All of that is very important to make sure you're working with somebody that you can trust.
Now, what about fees, as Mark asked?
Yeah, is it based upon the price, the complexity, what?
Another good question, and it really does vary across the industry. You'll see example, it'll be a percentage of the value of the property, or maybe the fees will go up and down based on the number of deals or the value of what's being bought and sold. In our case, we charge a flat rate, doesn't matter the deal size, type, or location. And that flat rate fee will come out at the time of closing like any other broker commission or settlement fee.
And do you mind saying what the fee is?
No, we charge a flat rate of $950 per exchange, and that includes the sale transaction and the purchase transaction.
I don't even know how you can afford to do it at that, actually.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's cheap.
And
well, the good news is in this industry, there's not a ton of overhead, and with enough volume and the right experience, you can do things pretty efficiently.
Now, what is your background, personally, yours?
Yeah, so I've been with this company for 7 years. Before that, I worked for a financial publication that specialized mostly in distressed assets, targeting attorneys and CPAs. And before that, I was a financial advisor.
Okay, so you pretty much have a good background in finance. Kent, it's your turn.
Sorry. I do want to ask him one more question, because they are holding that money for a period of time while you're finding that like property, or if you already found it, for at least a day. But how do you bond? What does your company do? How is someone sure you're not going to run off with the money?
That's a good question. So the banking relationship is very important. We work with primarily two, although there are other banks, only two banks, Capital One Bank and Bank of Colorado here locally, to safeguard the funds. And, of course, you get the FDIC protections there. But you should carry additional insurance on top of that, both for internal errors and omissions that might happen on our end, and for the risk of, especially these days, wire fraud and cyber theft are huge problems. You should carry additional insurance on top of what the bank provides in case some third party does something nefarious when the money is changing hands from closing table to bank.
Okay, Kent, since you called originally, do you have any questions for Sean?
No, this is really good information, and I do have one about the insurance. Where do you get that insurance? Who would you talk to about that?
Well, I think he's talking about the intermediary has the insurance.
Yeah,
Is that
Sean,
right?
he's saying his company has that insurance, and what I would do, whether it was Sean's company or any other company you end up dealing with, just like a contractor, I would have them provide me proof of that coverage.
That's right. You should contact the intermediary, and you should say, how are my funds safeguarded? And that's not just about insurance, although insurance is very important. It's also about what are your safety protocols? How can funds get released? So with our company, we can't move funds in or out of our client account unless our client signs and gives us verbal authorization to do so. And so without that, our banks won't let us move money without that. And that's also very important.
That is very important, and it's kind of weird because it does kind of give you control over proceeds. You would think the IRS would think, wait a minute. But, hey, if you're doing it, it's a safety measure for consumers. I like it. Now,
my only other question would be, I guess this is all done electronically. You wouldn't, because I'm in northern Colorado, so I wouldn't need a representative here. It'd all be done electronically, yeah?
That's right. In fact, we were sort of doing our wax-on, wax-off impersonation pre-COVID on this and did everything digital probably around 2017, 2018. But everything can be done from your phone or from a computer. We have clients nationwide. We have international clients. You don't need someone personally to go visit any office or sign any paperwork.
Do you guys, so basically if he wants to use you, Sean, he just calls up the number. We'll give it out at the end, but he doesn't have to show up at your office in Denver.
He doesn't, although he's certainly welcome to.
Now, I want to ask about the business in general, Sean. 1031 exchanges, are they higher than they used to be, lower than they used to be, about the same? What's the trend?
I would say the first couple of years post-COVID, there was a real boom in the industry. There was a lot of cash flowing around, and interest rates were still very low, and there were a lot of gains to be captured and transferred over. Since interest rates started climbing and real estate transaction volume in general has slowed, we've seen a bit of a slowdown in the industry across the country. This is not true everywhere, but regionally it certainly is true in some places. And what we're seeing right now is the prices still haven't quite adjusted for the increase in rates. There's a lot of cash waiting on the sidelines, so it's probably a little bit slower than normal right now.
All right, thank you very much. He's a CEO of 1031X, 1031X.com, which is an awesome website. I can't believe you got that URL. 303-504-0144 is their number. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Ken, thank you for bringing up the topic so we can educate our people. More coming up. Mark?
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
Busy driving all throughout the Denver metro in anticipation for the evening's wintry weather. I-25 northbound into downtown. We're seeing speeds in the 30s and 40s between Alameda and Colfax. Southbound I-25 slow between I-70 and Spear, and further south between Broadway and University. Heading to DIA I-70 eastbound, stop-and-go traffic starts at about Central Park all the way to Pena Boulevard. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, scattered showers starting to crop back up throughout the Denver metro and beyond high 50. It's a pinpoint weather alert day. We're expecting that rain to turn to snow around 6 p.m. and accumulate through Thursday night into Friday. The current temperature in Denver is 48 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan at 630 KHOW.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
I love talking about Red Rocks Roof and Solar. It's an emphasis on solar, really. They do solar, starting with the sales, then the installation and the service, even warranty work. But they also know about the financing, the loans, the tax credits. They can help you through all of that, including grants, especially commercial clients who want to put in extra grid and extra panels and sell back to the grid. Man, you can make some money doing that. They have a client making a couple $100,000 a year. RedRocksRS.com. The art of granite is the art of doing countertops the right way. I should say that it's all kinds of countertops as well, not just granite, but the name is the art of granite, and they'll do granite, quartzite, quartz, marble, anything. Natural stone or man-made, you call them, they give you a price on the phone, tear out and haul away's free, and they do a bathroom free when you have the kitchen done. TheArtOfGranite.com. I've never seen a better run company when it comes to countertops. You will love the way they do business, starting with a price on the phone. 386-5919. Mitch wants you to know there are a lot of extra incentives this month, including some edge treatments and other things. Call for more, 303-386-5919. Keel and Park are really great attorneys for your estate. They're estate planning attorneys. Keel and Park, they each have an E on the end of common spellings, Keel and Park. The website is lawkp.com. And what they'll do is go through your entire estate free of charge to let you know what you need or what you should have. They make recommendations, and if you choose them, they have flat rates for each one, whether you want to do all of it or some of it. You don't do a more simple, straightforward version than that. lawkp.com. Call for your free initial consultation, 970-818-8198.
But I kind of have to go home because I got the dog. Unless I bring her in with me tomorrow. Which technically I could. All right.
Man, good job getting that.
I bet part of his business plan, too, is they're making, when that money's sitting in their account, they're making 5% easy.
You think so for just that shirt? Well, I guess, yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Because you can do weekly, my
Daily.
weekly T-bills are paying 5.4.
Yeah, well, even at Schwab right now, I've got a bunch sitting in cash that's making 5% a day or 5.25, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Technically, it's not. It's not. What do you call that? It's not a fund. It's a
I don't know.
like a bond, or like it's like a. It's not a CD. It's kind of. I guess it's like a bond.
Yeah. Well, okay. I didn't.
But
do it
you
for
can
Schwab.
liquidate it in 24 hours.
Yeah. I have my bank accounts, Mark, that sweep.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't. I have some cash, but most of my cash is swept into 5.4.
Personally, you should do that with TSN as well.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
If you think of, I'm just thinking of the average daily balance.
You're right.
I mean, you're leaving fucking. Well, I'm not going to say numbers because people can do math, but a lot.
You're right. We got to do that. That's a great idea.
Just tell Suzanne to get it done.
Well, I have to. I have the account already opened. I can sweep that account. I go
for
direct
tax reasons. You want to make sure it's under TSN, the exact same corporate name.
No, I get it. I do whatchamacallit. I do direct to the government. I do.
And then she can set up that, leave a certain amount, but anything over there automatically sweeps each day.
Yeah, I have a T-bill account. Or actually, it's not just a T-bill account. It's a federal government account. And it's for everything.
My father.
Did you?
Yes.
It's a really cool idea.
Name it?
Yeah, it's his name.
Let me see what it's called.
No, it's amazing you can make, with zero risk, 5 or 6% right now. It's crazy.
I thought he owned
Mine
Subway.
is called.
No,
the fuck is it?
You remember when a fucking
I know it's
on a 6-month CD you'd get 0.25% not long ago.
No, I know. Hold on, why don't I have this listed here? Hold on. It's called because I have it under banking.
10 seconds here, guys.
Plus Kevin Sorbo breaking it down, and journalist Steve Baker, arrested last week because of January 6th. He'll be on as well on the Joe Pag Show. Tonight from 6 to 9 on 630 KHOW.
Just kidding. Hey, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. Oh, that guy had a question, but he's off now. So we've learned a lot of good things today on the show, and I want to remind you the Insurance Help Center is still open at 303-996-9000. Doing comparisons of insurance. And it's really important. One of the biggest deals is not being underinsured. You could end up in a big problem. Now, a lot of people feel underinsurance only hurts them when it comes to total losses, but not true. If you're sadly underinsured and you get like a roof claim, and let's say you are 30%, 40% underinsured, they will take 30 or 40% off the roof claim. So underinsurance penalties are massive problems because in addition to your deductibles, you have loss of coverage. And a lot of people do not believe or think about that. It's loss of value, it's undervaluing your home. And that is one of the biggest problems people have with insurance. 303-713. Oh, I don't know why I'm giving out that number. I'll give out this number because when we go off the air, you can call it. You can call it 24/7 and get help for anything you need at 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466.
Hey, something else with Compass real quick. We never talk about enough. Any small business out there, if you're a contractor or like when I owned the Goodyears, we had garage keepers. These guys do a full commercial array as well. You send them the deck pages. How about workman's comp? You might think you have Pinnacle, which most people do, and you're getting a good deal on workman's comp. I'm telling you, these guys, depending on how you're rated, can get you better deals even on workman's comp.
Now, by the way, if any of you people have Roku, I'm mentioning this as a last minute thing because it's important. Roku now has a system when they do an update, Mark. If you don't accept terms and conditions when they revise them, they will brick your TV. It will not move until you go past it, and you must agree to it first. Now, that doesn't mean you won't agree to it, but I just want you to know that. All right, don't forget 303-MARTINO, and then, of course, referralist.com for help, information, and referrals. Save all your problems for me.
You're clear, buddy.
All right,
Follow
I gotta
Tom
go to work on this
Martino
stuff, Mark. I'll see
at
ya.
Real Tom Martino.
And